Yes, there it goes. It starts streaming before the counter starts ticking, so there's this weird moment where I'm waiting for it, but then it's happening. But we're here, we're ready. It's that time of the evening. It is, in fact, time for patch 522. This is the preseason patch.
Why don't they just call it like patch 6.001 or some shit?
Because they won't do that until season 6 officially begins.
I know, but like, it's technically the preseason patch, right?
No, I agree.
Same.
As many of you know, this stream has begun, and I was in the middle of eating food, so I'm gonna eat while it's happening. So enjoy that. Because some of us just got home. But yeah, this was gonna happen. So you've all been noticed. Hopefully you guys all leave a like for the video, and I hope you got some time to burn. Go get something to drink right now. Go get some food, because this is a big patch. We're gonna be swift through a few parts that really don't need us to cover everything because they're stupid. Little changes, but we're gonna talk about the patch because it is quite large. So
get your popcorn ready.
Get your popcorn up in this hizzy. Okay. All right. So the first things first. Marksman updates. This is the patch where you will see rapid fire changes to every marksman. Everybody's getting touched. Yes, in fact, even Urgot. But the big champion changes are coming to Quinn, Graves, Kog'Maw, Misfortune, Caitlyn, and did I miss anybody? Is that all? Is there 5 or 6? Graves, Corki, and Corki.
There's a lot of changes to Ashe as well.
Yes, there are changes, but I mean like the changes that make the champions feel like brand new champions.
It's like some of the AD carries like Draven just like got donked, but like Ashe is pretty big too, I think. I don't know. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So
we just kick it off with Queen?
Kicking it off with Quinn. How about you read us through the general changes?
I can't read.
Okay.
Let's just get that out of the way. I can't read.
See what I did there, guys? I put Kyle in a position where I knew he couldn't do something to make him feel bad.
I don't feel bad. Lots of people can't read.
I don't read so good. I actually used to not read good.
Shit, some of the richest people in the United States can't read. Just think of all the NBA.
Yeah.
All the
Just
NFL.
think of the whole NBA. All right, no, that's true.
All of the Southeastern Conference. All right, let's go.
Yes. All right. So kicking things off. In general, more basic attack damage, but lower growth stat. Recommended items updated. So her passive is now, instead of having like Quinn for ultimate, or sorry, Valor for ultimate, passive is Harrier. Bonus damage, 0.5 total attack damage. Cooldown's 8 seconds. Harrier's cooldown is reduced by 1% per 1% crit chance you have. Multiplicitivity. So 50% critical strike chance. Harrier's cooldown is 5 seconds. At 100% critical strike chance, the cooldown is 3 seconds. So it can't just be 10, or sorry, half. It can't be 2.5. So because of the stacking. So Valor now marks targets as vulnerable immediately when activated. So her Q, aerial assault, does damage. You can see it here. I'm not going to read every damage number. It's a little crazy for the massive changes that have happened.
So they nerfed the damage, but oh my god!
But they nerfed the mana cost.
An ability powered. Oh.
It's got a shorter cast time.
All right.
And it has a thinner missile width. It no longer blinds targets. That's kind of sad. It now marks the first target hit as vulnerable, though. So you can have that assault with vulnerable afterwards. If it kills a target, half of the cooldown is refunded. So you can use that more often. Heightened Senses is still the W. You will get a percentage of movement speed. And the duration is 2 seconds.
It's a huge buff.
Yeah, percentage, not flat. No, it's a nerf.
No. It's because it's off of total movement speed.
Yeah. So what's 40%?
What's 40% of?
Okay, yeah, no. You're right. Sorry, that's a buff. 300, not 400. That'd be nuts.
You start out with 325 and then you buy boots. That's 400.
No,
that's 375.
Something. It's things.
I can't do math either.
Now tag team
is the ultimate.
The ultimate. And the cost on it becomes free later in the game. It's 100 up front and then 50. No cooldown, obviously. It doesn't have one. You can use it indefinitely. It has no duration set on it. You can take damage while channeling. Tag team's cooldown is set to 3 seconds if you do. Tag team movement bonus. You get that as you rank up from 70 to 130%. You get total attack damage of 1 attack damage. It no longer deals increased damage based on an enemy's missing health. Basic attacking or dealing direct damage causes Quinn to swap in. So you really only use it to mush around the map. It's like a faster version of Strut, which Misfortune doesn't have anymore. So we'll get to that in a second. Yeah.
Overall, Quinn?
Overall, Quinn is now a roaming assassin ADC. Correct?
I think yeah, that's fair.
I mean, her ultimate's better in the sense that you can use it to get into location and then pursue a target who is maybe escaping or you're showing up for a gank. But you don't have the dive ability to go in as Valor and get yourself killed, which is good because a lot of people used her quite wrong.
Yeah.
So.
I could be wrong, but I think she's like absolutely garbage. You remove the blind.
Yeah, I don't like that.
The only thing that's gonna the thing that's gonna save her kit is the change to her passive, where you can proc it every like 3 seconds.
Yes.
And another big change is the fact that it makes you can like kill it immediately instead of having like, because you could see the target come into the person auto, and then Harrier would come down, or like the Valor would come down and then like actually mark the target, and so you could basically get like times where you would go in thinking you were going to get a Harrier proc and then you didn't. I do like the change to W, and I like the change to her ult, but I feel like the blind is too big of a loss, and she won't be a.
Well, I don't think she'll be in top anymore because of it.
Yeah, she won't be a viable top laner, which is like counterproductive for what they're trying to do, and I don't like the fact that they included an AP ratio again.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either. I think it's okay to try to move her out of top lane. I think it's unfortunate that she had to lose the blind, though, because it's still good.
Because you're not only doing the blind, you're also nerfing damage.
Yeah.
So, does Vault still proc the Harrier as well?
Yeah.
So basically, you can get 4 Harrier procs. Okay, she might be okay.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna come into a concept, because what happened is when Lucian came out, everybody's like, or at least not everybody, I was like, Lucian's a better version of Quinn because you can proc the double shot more often as Lucian because it's off of your abilities. She's getting closer to being able to do that now, and therefore she'll be able to output more damage, which is what she always lacked being in a bot lane. The only thing that saved her was the blind, but they're removing it, but now they're making it different throughout the rest of her kit. So. Yes, there's things missing that make her sad and make her worse in top lane now, but I think it's because she's transitioning back to bot lane, and this should work okay, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm interested to see how it plays out. I'm okay with it.
She was one of those champions that was like an AD carry that was in the top lane, and like that's what they're trying to do by like coming out with crappy champions like Kindred and whoever else came out before that. Who came out before that?
Or like Mord becoming a bot laner.
Yeah, Mord becoming a bot laner, that's what I was thinking of. But like, so basically you're just like pigeonholing a champion into a role. Okay, next.
Good, got that off the table. Graves is next. Oh, the people asking I'm eating a salad, you know.
It's delicious.
It is. It's an Asian salad with an Asian dressing with some crunchy stuff on top. It's actually not bad.
Okay, let's go.
Base attack damage increased, growth stat decreased, attack range decreased by 100, but it's because of what he's doing with the rest of his kit. He has more movement speed, though, by 15, and he has a armor growth stat that is better. Now, his passive, New Destiny.
Wait.
With Destiny.
I want to bracket some real quick.
All right, go
All of these general changes are the same. Well, like most of them, the basic attack damage, and we can just touch on it once, and so we don't have to repeat it every time. When basic attack damage goes up in the early game, it just makes trading more like difficult. Like if you're not as good at AD carry in a game, then you're gonna get stomped, like worse. And it obviously helps you with your early game scaling, but the growth stat isn't higher, like is lower, so it should even out.
Correct.
So
thank you, thank you, Kyle. So Destiny. This is passive. Graves' basic attacks is now a cone of 4 bullets with AD ratio that scales with level. The damage from the first bullet deals 0.75 to 1.1 total attack damage. The bonus damage is 25 to 33% per bullet beyond the first. Bullets stop on the first unit that is hit. Structures take 25% reduced damage from Graves' basic attacks. Graves stores 2 shells at any time and expends them when he basic attacks. After using them, Graves reloads, delaying his next basic attacks significantly. So he's got like a shotgun 2-cartridge, barrel. Graves' reload time is slightly reduced by attack speed. Graves' time between attacks is greatly reduced by attack speed. Instead of dealing bonus damage, Graves fires 8 bullets upon critically striking, 10 with Infinity Edge.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That's kind of neat, actually.
So end with an item.
End of the line is his Q. So the initial damage, it's there, 60 to 140 with an AD scaling bonus. Detonation damage is a lot higher with 90 up to 350 and a bonus attack damage. Mana cost 50 to 70, cooldowns 14 to 10, and then fish in a barrel. If end of line strikes a wall, it detonates immediately, meaning if they're close to a wall and it hits that terrain, it's going to do AoE explosionness damage. It detonates right away. So, it's neat. They covered that little bit in the little preseason thing that they did. So it was cool. His smoke screen, units inside smoke screen cannot see out for any reason now, because originally they could see if somebody was attacking him or something was happening.
Yeah.
It's kind of goofy.
It was almost like you were in a reverse bush.
Yeah. Cooldown is now a little bit longer, but not a lot. Just 2 seconds late game, 6 seconds early game. Not too big of a deal. Quick draw now resets Graves' basic attack timer and refills 1 shell, meaning you could do 2 shots and then you could dash and get another shell instantly without reloading. Now grants 10 to 30 magic or armor and magic resist for 4 seconds. This can stack up to 4 times in Graves on each cast, damaging non-minions. Refreshes True Grit. Oh, neat. So basically, when he uses this to get up close, since he has a lot shorter auto attack range now, he needs these defensive stats to be able to effectively trade. But when Graves gets in your face to effectively trade now, he's going to wallop you. That's just a heads up. The cooldown on that is actually going to be shorter early on, and the cooldown refund is 0.5 per bullet hit instead of 1 per basic attack. And then collateral damage, Graves now recoils 300 units backwards upon firing, so he's going to actually go flying backwards because of how big the collateral damage explosion is. Diagnose this for us, content.
I like this.
I do too.
I haven't played the PvE at all, which I probably should have before we did this, but I actually like the fact that they're making champions that against some champions will be really good and then other champions will be really bad, instead of just one guy is going to be the strongest AD carry at any given time, which I think is very healthy for the lane, the game. It makes a lot more, it puts more importance on pick ban and draft phase, and I like how they moved his passive to his E.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. But I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about how the whole reload thing is gonna pan out in terms of late game scaling, since auto attack speed will make you reload faster.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just kind of, I'd have to see it in action really, but I like the direction that they're going.
Yeah, I do too. I like the idea that, because originally when Graves was super overpowered when he was brand new, he was super overpowered because he got in your face. He got tons of extra damage from his Q. Now they're reverting back to, okay, that wasn't actually terrible. He was just a little strong the way he was set up with the rest of his kit. Let's just make it that way. But he has to actually be up close and personal. So now he can just go in and go super hard. And he really wants to get in your face to just make you explode. And I like that. It's a cool thing to have on an AD carry. You don't typically see that. That's kind of what we're seeing with the way Mordekaiser's play bot lane. Mordekaiser will poke at you a little bit, but then he wants to come get in your face. Graves is going to be very similar, but still have range.
And I'm not a big lore guy, especially in a game like League, but I like it that they're trying to make it actually make sense in game.
Yes.
So
it's always nice to see it well-rounded. So.
Yes.
Next we have Corky. Obviously he's getting his general changes like all the other champions. Is that better for you? Is that heavy? Fine. What you want? Okay. Hextech Mutations is his passive. Corky's basic attacks deal 110% damage. It's split evenly between 55% magic damage and 55% physical damage. So he no longer does true damage on his passive, which is what it used to be. The package, after 8 minutes, Corky can return to base and pick up the package, gaining extreme out-of-combat movement speed, It's 150% while in base and 40% more outside. And then he can cast Special Delivery for 60 seconds. The cooldown's 5 minutes after it's been used. So the Special Delivery just makes him kind of like jump really hardcore in like Valkyrie. And it's pretty nuts though. So It's pretty sweet. Q's not being touched. W is his Valkyrie. The range on it is being decreased by 200. Special Delivery travels further and drops bombs along the way and knocks them aside, burning a trail for 5 seconds. That's what the Special Delivery does. With the package, enemies in the trail are slowed by 90%. That's also with the package. And with the package, enemies in the trail burn for magic damage equal to 30 to 100 at levels 1 to 18 with a bonus attack damage of 1.5 and a 0.2 on ability power. So that is what Valkyrie does with the package. And then his Gatling gun now deals half of its damage as magic damage. Now additionally reduces magic resist instead of just armor, since he's split among both. Armor and magic resist shred is been it's 1 to 5 per second instead of 2 to 10, but that's because it's cutting both now. So it's effectively the same.
Essentially the same.
Yeah. And then on his missile barrage, the damage on that is being decreased at later ranks, but the total attack damage ratio on it is being increased.
Once again, a good incorporation with lore.
Yes.
I'm not really sure about how the Special Delivery is going to work. Like, I don't know if it's just like when you get caught, it's going to be really effective because you're never going to Valkyrie over a team.
You'll only have it for one. You only have it for 1
Well,
minute.
I know, but you're never going to like Valkyrie into a team to use the.
I think you will when you're in bot lane. You come back from buying and you just hit a power spike. Let's say you just got Trinity Force and you're coming back to lane. You're going to Valk in.
You're going to 2v2.
Yeah, you're going to go hard in and you're going to try to use it effectively as an offensive thing. It'll be greedy, but I think it's supposed to be like that. I don't think you're supposed to really get the package and hold on to it for that perfect moment. It's just going to be something you can use. Hell, you can just get back to lane faster if you want.
And it actually adds like a new dimension to how people use Valkyrie because everybody uses it to just gap close or gap like get away. Yeah. So like now there'll actually be a point for it. So I like that change.
I'm okay with them getting rid of his true damage and cutting him in half magical and physical damage. I think that's kind of unique. The true damage that he had on his passive originally was not bad, but it wasn't good. Corki wasn't just a standard attack. You know, he casts abilities. He gets Sheen procs. So the true damage was not utilized the most effectively. So now I think this can make him more effective. So, and I like Corki. I think Corki's hella fun. If you guys don't play Corki, he's super fun.
So. I like it. I like the changes.
Yeah. Next is the Cog Maw. All right, so a lot of general changes to him. Actually getting some reductions mostly along the board besides the increased attack damage. But
well, now isn't he just banana? Okay, let's go.
Now he's Banana Hammock. So his spittle now, his passive attack speed is actually increased. Instead of 10 to 30%, it's 15 to 35%. The big change he's going to be seeing is Bio Arcane Barrage. Now, so the duration of this lasts only for 6 seconds instead of 8. It costs 40 mana instead of being free. And then the cooldown on it is shorter. Instead of 17 seconds, it's 13 down to 7 once the buff expires. Not while the buff is happening, it goes on cooldown. It's after the buff is done, then it goes on cooldown.
So isn't that how many seconds do you get? You get it for like 4 or 5 seconds? So it's almost the same at level 1, right? Cooldown-wise? Because it's on cast versus buff expiring.
Yeah, roughly the same.
Okay.
So, bonus range is going to be from 90 to 210, so it's actually less early, but it's the same late game. Now reduces all of Kog'Maw's damage against non-minions by 55% while active, so he can't just hyper push. It deals 1.25% of total attack damage plus 75% of 100 AP of the target's maximum health as additional magic damage. It also has ultra rapid fire. Now doubles Kog'Maw's attack speed, cap, and reduces cast time by 50% when active. So, I know a lot of people are scared about this because he can get up to 5 attack speed and that he can hyper go nuts. But they did mention that one of the trade-offs to being able to do this is...
He's now squishy as ball sacks.
Well, no. What happens, if you want to attack as fast as possible, at least that as fast as possible, you have to stand still. There's no way you can orb walk it. Yeah, you're not going to orb walk it out at 5 attack speed. Your clicking is impossible. So you will have to stand still to deal that amount of damage. So you can get jumped on quite easily. But if he stands back and he has a very protective composition, yes, he will tear through people. But that's what he's always been all about. It'll be interesting to see how people play around it. We'll see how many Lulu nerfs and Morgana nerfs come in the future because of the way they can protect him and keep him alive. It looks really cool. And once again, this is another unique feature we're getting on a champion to make them feel fresh and unique. Him going off like a machine gun's cool, in my opinion.
Do you still buy Triforce on him?
I don't know now. Because you
so.
actually get pretty good attack damage ratio and you don't need any attack speed, couldn't you just seriously do a Trinity Force and just go ham? Or not Trinity Force, sorry, Infinity Edge?
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking, but you could also go like a almost like a Twitch build, like a
Bork?
Like a Bork Yumu's IE kind of thing.
The other thing about just this season in general, at least off the bat, until we see tweaks or changes, I think we're going to see build paths for all champions really open up. There's going to be a lot of personal preference and playstyle stuff around what you're actually building because you could see it justifiably depending on how you're playing and who you're playing against. So even more open. Plus there's more items to make it more open.
Well, like the reason that I brought that up is because you would use your R, like you would use your ultimate to proc your Sheen on Triforce, and like that's almost like a waste of
it's counterproductive
time
now.
that you takes to cast it, because you're gonna get what, essentially 3.5 autos off during that cast time.
Yeah.
So
you don't need to build it.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
All right.
Yep.
I like it.
And then Living Artillery, mana cost going up, damage is going down, and then the ability power ratio on it going down, the attack damage ratio on it going up, the vision duration going down by 2 seconds, the mana debuff duration is going up to 10 seconds. Looks like AP Kog'Maw is kind of dying with this.
So wait. Okay, continue.
And then no longer deals 100% increased base damage to champions. Now deals double damage to enemies between 25 and 50% health. And then now triples damage for enemies between 0 and 25.
So it's an execute.
Yeah.
All right.
Because he can't use it as a giant massive nuke if he's AP now, because it kind of got nerfed. Not terribly, but it did get nerfed.
It got nerfed.
Yeah.
Well, it's just, there's no, like, yeah.
Less on the AP ratio and more on the attack damage ratio with a less vision duration and a longer a debuff on the mana.
Yes.
That's a nerf at AP. AP Ma. So. But that is going to be Kog'Maw. Next is the Fortune. We have the good fortune to see some misfortune. General stats obviously are being changed like everybody else's. Passive.
Hers are actually reversed though, isn't it?
No, she's
losing basic.
But it's because of her stacking. So
yeah.
So passive is Love Tap. She no longer has Strut as her passive. Damage from 0.6 to 1. Total attack damage from levels 1 to 18. So she gets that. No love for minions. Deals 50% damage to minions and deals 50% damage to turrets. I'm choking on apparently nothing. It's always fun. All right, now on her W, I'm alive. On her W is Strut. No longer passively deals ramping magic damage per basic attack. The cooldown on it, instead of being 12 seconds, is 8. Cooldown start is on buff expiration, not on cast yet again, so it has to finish out, then it'll go on cooldown. After 5 seconds of not taking direct damage, gain 25% movement speed, ramping up to 60, scaling up to 100 after 5 additional seconds. So as you put points into it, you'll get more. When activated, Strut now instantly grants the maximum movement speed value increased instead of ramping over time. The attack speed duration is 3 seconds instead of 6 seconds. The attack speed, instead of being 20 to 60%, is 60 to 120%. And getting into the groove, Love Tapping increases Strut's attack speed duration by 1 second, 2 seconds against champions. So this is like a super like go hardcore like bump it and rub, you know?
It's good.
Yeah, I like that. She can chase with Strut now instead of having a passive with Strut. So
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, make it derange, more like range, is now increased by 200, which is kind of nice. It always felt like it was a little bit short, just a tiny bit, if you wanted to chase. And then on her bullet time, the duration of it is up from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. No longer applies impure shots, but the damage per wave now is 75 total attack damage plus 0.2 ability power instead of having a flat rate and then small point amounts of bonus attack damage. So it's going to scale differently. So the more attack damage you actually have, the actual more it will deal instead of it having some base with a little bit of scaling. It's just going to be a scaling alt. And then the number of waves instead of 8 will now increase to 12, 14, and 16. Bolt time can now critically strike, dealing 120% damage per wave. So now her alt won't be crap past level 11.
Like, that's actually really good, I think.
Yeah, it's awesome. She used to before they nerfed her ultimate in like season 2. She used to have a great actual team fighting ultimate. You'd have an Amumu on your team and lock everybody down because he was the only lockdown champion at the time. And then she just pussed out the bullet time and she'd shred a team. And then they nerfed her and then she never really... You'd use bullet time late game to clear waves.
You're thinking like minimum late game you have what, 300 attack damage? So 300 attack damage, 75% of that's what, 225 per wave?
Plus crit.
And there's 16 waves at 16, max rank?
Yeah. She can...
Plus whatever... You know,
I mean, they'll have armor and
ability
stuff.
Power.
Yeah, and she'll have armor, or they'll have armor. But yes, squishies who get caught up in her alt late game.
Yeah, but you can like, I'm assuming that Last Whisper is going to be part of your build, and so
yeah,
that's just like I don't know. This is
awesome.
You might see a return of like actually like team fight comps.
I want that. I love a team fight comp.
Except for like instead of this like. You have 2 assassins who go kill 1 target, and then basically the front line smash their face into each other.
Yeah. It's neat. I like it.
Oh, I like it as well.
I like Miss Fortune as well. I just haven't played her as much.
I like her. Okay, I like her as a champion, but you know.
There's no reason to actually play her.
Pretty poopy lately, so.
Caitlyn is next. I am also a big fan of Caitlyn as an ADC. She's getting some changes, more attack damage, growth stat a little less. Obviously, so her passive headshot no longer penetrates bonus armor. Headshot's damage is increased by 50% of her crit chance. Caitlyn can fire a long-range headshot on enemies that step on snap traps or 90 caliber net. So she gets a super long-range auto if you get hit or tagged by either of those. And I mean super long range. It looks ridiculous. I love it. Piltover Peacemaker is seeing some damage changes. It's going to go up in base damage, and then it's going to get scaling damage with your attack damage ratio. So Piltover Peacemaker late game will actually deal damage because it does good early but kind of sucks late game. It doesn't feel like it actually hits with any kind of gusto. Missile Width is going to be thinned out a little bit, though, by 30, so make sure you actually hit them. The damage fall off is 40% less after striking one target instead of 10%. After striking one target, it gains width, though, so by 30. So it gets it back after it does hit a target. So if you hit a minion, you're trying to hit them behind it, it will widen out. Always deals 100% damage to units revealed by Yordle Snap Trap. So if somebody steps on it or on a trap in a bush, and then because people always try to line up a Piltover Peacemaker right after, you will always get 100% damage, which is really cool. And then you can follow it up with a long-range headshot. So, Caitlyn players. W, obviously Snap Trap. The big change happening to her kit is actually happening here. Cost of them are going down to 20. Cooldown on it now it doesn't have a cooldown. It has a charge timer, starting at 45 seconds and going down to 10. Caitlyn can now store up to 3, 3, 4, 4, and then 5 traps at any one time. Maximum active traps out can be 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. Obviously matches the number of which you can have charged. That does no damage now, though, when people step on it. But
1,300 damage? Or 1,300 range?
Yes, Caitlyn now has headshot trap range at 1,300 range, which is why it doesn't deal damage anymore. Which was a lot of damage, but now she gets a headshot with a crit. Damn!
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just got... I'm trying to think of a word for it.
You just got headshot?
I just got headshot.
You got no scopes.
Playing Vayne is actually going to be tough against Caitlyn now, I think.
Get wrecked. Caitlyn no longer re-trap a trap target. Yeah, that was kind of bullshit and awesome. So yeah, that is the new Snap Trap. It's really cool. You can work around it now and have fun.
Cupcakes are bullshit.
Caliber net, missile speed on that is being decreased. The width is being decreased. The dash distance is being decreased. The damage is being decreased. The slow duration is being stuck at 1 instead of scaling. And then no scope, Caitlyn can now get the headshot thing on that for 1300 range as well. So you just realized this is live. It is. But yes. So Caitlyn, I'm excited. I like Caitlyn.
Once again, following the lore, because now she can shoot for like super long ranges, which like she's always been able to do, but not to this extent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'll probably pick up Caitlyn again because she really fell out because of her weakness late game. Which she still has that, but like now you're like with 5 traps out and charge ability, like it's pretty good. I think she'll be okay.
She'll be the good siege and yeah, she'll be even better at what she's only known for, and that is not utilized a lot because there's other ways to play around it with other better champions at the time. Exactly. Even though you could still play her effectively, but now she'll have a better place in that role. I like it. Also, if at any point you are a person who's not sure of your ADC skills, I think Caitlyn's the go-to because she has a really good range, so you can just farm things out. You can always Q farm with your Piltovers. You can always use your net to get away if you need to. It's really good for running. And then you can put traps out to keep yourself safe. She's still that same champion, now with just
she's more
some
of
improvements.
Sniper.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of a...
So now you can turn it around if you're not good at your positioning, too. So if they step on a trap, you're like, oh, I can headshot from 60 years away and I'm still safe because I'm bad at positioning.
But I guess what my point was is like, she's more of a sniper now instead, because like early game you just shove people in and just harass them under turret and put down traps.
She'll still do some of that.
Well, I know, but like since Piltover Peacemaker now gets 30% less damage, like I think it'll be harder for waves, won't it?
No, less width.
No, the actual damage goes down to 30% immediately.
Oh yeah, the fall off damage goes down 30%. Yes, so she won't shove quite as hard with it, and it's also skinnier.
Which, like, you know, this is just me nitpicking because I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about right now because I haven't played this yet. But like, I don't know. I like these changes because they're actually focused at what they're.
Yes. All these changes to Caitlyn, where she gets these long attacks and she gets to set up like these little mini like traps, and she gets to strategically place her traps, and then she gets headshot bonuses. This all fits in with what makes Caitlyn unique, which is her ultimate and her attack range being long. They're increasing all those things to make her more unique. She's finding her own place. I love that. You love it too. You're welcome.
I don't love it because I'm
Hater?
I'm a Vayne main.
Well,
I'm not a Vayne main. I'm just a Vayne player.
Time to be a Caitlyn.
I'm an avid Vayne fan. Go Shauna Power.
Woo! So those are the champion like rework changes. Those are probably the biggest of the like champion changes, obviously. So next is Ashe under champion changes. Her slow percentage is not going to go up to 35% anymore. It's only going to go up to 25%. 35 is a little nuts. Ashe's crit strikes now deal 1 of her total attack damage instead of 2 total attack damage, but doubles the effectiveness of Frost Shot. So that's an okay trade-off, I'd say.
Yeah.
So, Ranger's Focus, they removed all of it, apparently. I didn't notice that till now. No longer amplifies the slow.
So, what the fuck does Q do?
Is it just the slow?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just go with the okay. And then now Volley automatically critically strikes against champions for the purposes of Frost Shot's slow. Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but you basically have a useless fucking ability.
Well, it always was.
Whatever. Are you out of your mind? You just volley a wave like back before they nerfed Ashe into the fucking ground. You just volley a wave, get full Ranger focus, and just kill people.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's true. I meant. And
now it doesn't do anything.
I meant before the changes to Ashe. Before, like the original Ashe. You know what I mean. He knows what I mean.
Frost Arrow, when you could activate it. Is it called Frost Arrow? What was it called?
Frost Shot?
Is it Frost Shot?
Yeah.
Was it back then?
Yeah.
Alright.
I used to play Ashe. A little bit.
I did not.
You did not. So that's Ashe. She's getting some changes. Draven's attack frame is 2-3 instead of 3-2, and his basic attack missile speed is decreased.
So basically, he'll be the same.
It'll be easier to catch his crap.
Yeah.
No, that's the attack speed, not the bounce back speed. So his attacks move slower, or they visibly look like they move. Who cares? Then there's Ezreal. His cooldown on Mystic Shot is being increased by half a second, and the cooldown duration on hit
Basically,
reduction
it's the same.
If
you hit your thing.
So hit your abilities as Ezreal.
Right.
Arcane Shift cooldown is going to be increased as well. That's really funny because I think he's kind of crappy right now.
I think that he's
okay, but
I agree that he's crappy.
yes,
I'm actually surprised that he's not one of the champions that got reworked.
Maybe later in the season. I don't think they're going to be done with the ADCs. I just don't think they want to do seriously all of them at once.
Hey, I don't want to be foreshadowing.
Oh, I like foreshadowing.
But can we just label this whole patch the nerf of Faker?
Oh. No, he can't nerf Faker.
Well, I understand that. Like, he's still going to be a god.
Oh,
but
I clicked on
they're
Israel.
basically
It's not what I wanted.
taking power out of the mid lane and putting it into the A carry. Because think of the teams that did well last year in Worlds. They all had good mid laners.
They have good top laners.
Who?
SKT.
No, I'm saying, okay, SKT had good everything, but like, who was that team from Europe that sucked balls?
H2K?
No, the one that was good, but like everybody
Origin?
thought was really good, but it wasn't very good.
Origin?
No, the other one.
Fnatic.
Yeah, them.
Wow.
They had a really good mid laner,
They do have a good mid laner.
but
There's
yeah.
always been more power. This
Garbage.
season, this season though, the most power came out of mid lane though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way the meta was. So, next we got Jinxie Poo. Yeah, I called her that. Get excited. Getting excited now. Stacks increasing Jinx's total attack speed by 15% per stack. Duration is also up from 4 seconds to 6 seconds. Switcheroo.
So is this additionally? So
Yeah.
she still gets the movement speed.
Yeah, she's super broken. Don't let her get excited. Switcheroo. Jinx loses 15% of total attack speed while using fish bones. So she gets nerfed on
So if you
fish
change,
bones. Yeah. No, she just loses. Not even if you change it.
well,
It just she loses some attack speed on fish bones.
gotcha.
Interesting. Oh, because she's gonna make it up if she gets excited, and that would be super broken if she got super buffed constantly from getting excited with fish bones out. That makes sense. I get it now. Okay. So it makes up for that. It makes up for the buff. So I like it. So that is Jinx. I don't think she needs buffs, but whatever. Kalista.
I actually really like that change though.
It's interesting. It makes her
'Cause
more
now if you
unique. It
just
makes her
sit-
hyper more unique.
Well, yeah, and if you just sit in rocket form, then are you actually losing out on damage?
You're losing out until you start getting really, really excited.
Well, like if you're not hitting if you're not hitting 3 people, essentially, you're basically losing out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people use that wrong already too, so maybe that'll persuade them not to use it at all. That champion. So, Kalista, attack speed growth going down,
Up.
which is good.
Oh, growth going down. Okay.
Yep, growth going down. Bug fix, cool. And the speed of martial pose jump now only scales with attack speed, can be negatively affected by attack speed slows. Ooh. So nerfs. Effectively.
Yes.
Cool. Lucayan, also known as Lucian, no longer scales the number of bullets with attack speed. Now fires 20, 25, and 30 bullets based on rank on the culling. Okay, so it gets
His
longer.
ultimate's still useless next.
Still pretty crap. Yeah, I agree.
I'm actually once again surprised that Lucian didn't get reworked. Because they've tried and tried and tried, but like he's to a point now where I think that he's a bottom 380 carry.
Yeah, I've had him down there. Yeah. He's been getting better with some of the slight buffs they gave him, but yeah, he's still not my favorite.
Yeah.
So. Let's take a moment. So I didn't make a tier list for the last patch. And I'm going to have to hold on for a little bit while all these massive changes go through.
So you can get
So I can get a
firm
better
grip.
grasp on it. So
Yeah.
we might do like one every other instead of every patch because holy cow. It's too hard. Also, not enough actually changes. Sometimes, at least at the end of the season, things weren't changing enough. So
Yeah.
But to Sivir, basic attack speed is down a little bit. Ricochet, cooldown is going up. Cooldown starts when it happens on cast, not when it expires, so that kind of makes up for it. Buff duration is only for 4 seconds and not 6. So, get used to it. Tristana, Rapid Fire, no longer reduces explosive charge cooldown while attacking with Rapid Fire active. Rapid Fire's cooldown is no longer reduced when attacking targets marked by explosive charge. The cooldown on it is now being reduced per level when you put points into it. Instead of just 20 seconds, it now scales down to 16. Rocket Jump now does less magic damage early, but more late. So it is impactful when you actually are using it on resets. No longer deals increased damage per stack of explosive charge. Now, additionally, resets whenever explosive charge detonates at maximum stacks on a champion. So you can actually hop around more if you actually get a detonate with your rapid.
So if you like get a detonate,
Yeah,
you can like
with
double
explosive
jump
charge.
on somebody and then jump again.
So you could throw a rapid fire on them, shoot them twice. They might flash. You could rocket jump closer to getting range to shoot them twice. If it detonates, you could then rocket jump again to finish them off.
Oh my gosh, the Goomba.
A lot of Goomba. Explosive charge now detonates instantly upon reaching maximum stacks. And rocket jump and buster shot now apply explosive charge stacks. The missile speed is also increased to 2400 from 1800. I actually kind of like these changes on her. How do you feel, Captain?
I feel
Captain.
like she's gonna do about the same, right? She's gonna be about the same.
She's not going to do the Dickens?
Oh, I don't think that she's gonna like. I feel like what she does well, she'll still do really well. But like, I don't know how she's gonna compete against other AD carries now, just with all the other changes.
Yeah.
And like, if you don't get a huge lead early with Tristana, you're basically bonerinoed. So.
But she still does get her increased range. It's still helpful.
Did they follow through with that shit? Because I don't know if it was.
Yeah,
her.
she can attack a turret outside range, but that's an item that does that, not her.
What a fucking terrible idea. Okay, sorry.
It's an item that stacks to only do it once every once in a while or something. It's not like constantly. We'll get to it, Kyle. We'll get to it.
Yeah. Okay. I just saw that. I just saw a screenshot and I was a little salty peens. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you're pretty salty most of the time. Twitch is next. Ambush now resets cooldown when an enemy champion affected by deadly venom dies. And entering stealth cancels Twitch's current basic attack command. So don't blow it. And then on his ultimate, Spray and Pray, the duration on it is down from 7 seconds to 5. The mana cost is going to stay at 100 instead of increasing. And using Spray and Pray during ambush's stealth no longer cancels stealth. Whoa.
Spray and pray.
Spray and Pray.
All right. I can dig it.
I hate to... Kyle, you might want to cover your ears.
You shut your whore mouth and
Twitch
you talk
still
about my
sucks,
Twitch.
though. So
No, he's gonna be fucking badass.
No, not with all the other champion changes.
Are you? Is this ridiculous? Are you yanking me right now? Are you just?
Am I
what are you
yanking
doing
your
right
Goomba?
now? Yeah. Are you fucking Goombaing me right now?
Oh,
Okay.
champion sucks.
Just think of this. Just think of this perfect scenario. Okay. So you're gonna fucking ambush. You're gonna get the Ori ball, and you're gonna ambush. You're gonna go in the middle of 3 of them. Then she's gonna ulti you, and you're gonna rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a, aka spray and pray, and you're gonna kill the entire team while ambushed.
So wait. Twitch is now like a
2
Malphite
people.
delivery ball system.
Fuck yeah. Submarine, baby. Woo!
I want to see somebody use that correctly. I want to see that.
We're doing it. When this comes out, I'll play Twitch. You play Oriana. Ball me, baby. Ball me. We will kill entire teams. It
Well,
will
yeah, but
be
we're good.
Versus 5.
Okay, whatever. All right, cool. Vayne's next. Let's talk about her. I know you like her. All right, Vayne, Silver Bolts.
Whoa, we skipped Varus.
We did skip more. It's my fault. Now displays the treadmills. I know that's not what that says. Maximum spread range on his Chain of Corruption. Enemies spread across at least 1 enemy champion. Rooted targets gain 3 stacks of blight over the duration of the root, and the magic damage has been decreased. That's okay. I don't care about AP Varus, but I like the stacks of blight over the root duration. That's awesome. Are you done with this? Are you done over there?
Varus still sucks balls.
No, he's great.
Varus sucks balls.
He's
No,
good. He's a good mid
listen to
laner.
this. Yeah, that's the bullshit. Like, he's not even a good mid laner anymore.
No, he's a great mid laner. You
Are
just
you
have.
kidding me?
God, he counters
I
everybody.
will kill any virus in the. I will kill you. I will kill you over. and over
My
again.
stream can. Anybody who watches my stream can vouch that I don't think I've lost a single game with Varus.
I will kill you.
mid.
I will walk up to you. You are trying to poke me. I will dodge, and I will QW as LeBlanc, and your life will be gone. You'll be dead. Dead.
Because I can do 2 abilities to like one-shot you. Yeah.
If you hit them, you have no. You have
Why wouldn't I hit him?
You would have to use the same ability to kill me.
Dog, I can just ult
And I have to
Q
use two
you and you're
abilities that
dead.
are different abilities that I can use both, and they will kill you.
Dude, now I can Q you, ult you, and then by the time you get out of it, you'll be stacked with 3 more passives, and I can Q you again.
You're not going to be able to hit me.
I think I will. So
All right.
it's okay to be wrong, Kyle.
I actually think that's fair.
Yeah. Vayne's next though. Her base true damage is going to be 0 on silver bolts, but the true damage now is going to just be on stack of the percentage of health. So instead of 4% to 8%, it's going to be 6% to 12% of their maximum health. So it does get an increase in the true damage there, but with just no base early. So it'd actually be worse early when people don't have health. The minimum damage though is 40 to 120. Actually, so it's okay. So there's a minimum damage on silver bolts. Okay. It's okay. This actually helps her later. 12%, that's huge.
Yeah.
Like on super tanks, like Scion, get wrecked.
Definitely huge on the super tanks, which...
And I think it's adequate on the other champions.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, the minimum damage is a good inclusion, but Vayne's still going to be played the same way.
Yeah.
Which I'll be interested, because of her short range, I'll be interested to see how she matches up, because I don't think she's going to be as popular after all these changes as she was like right before the season ended, because...
But she got some buffs, too.
Yeah, pretty much if you didn't play Vayne, then you weren't playing AD carry correctly with the meta that was being played.
Yeah.
So I don't have an opinion on this change yet. I'll have to see.
Yeah. I don't think it's like enormous. So.
What can I handle?
Nothing. Anyways, Urgot. Actually, I don't like this change. So he's going to not get armor or magic resist now when he uses his ultimate, and he's going to just get damage reduction instead. Don't get me wrong, I like damage reduction, but sometimes he had to use this to put him into positions, unfortunately, would cause him to take more damage, maybe ripping them out from underneath their turret, and then he would take a little bit. But now that you don't get any armor or magic, like, I think that's kind of unfortunate. We'll see how it actually goes, but I'm not a big fan of this. So
I think that we can agree on this one, though.
Yeah.
Urgot is trash.
I think he's still okay.
Urgot is trash.
I think he's still okay, but I don't think he's great by any means.
The
I will say the new Black Cleaver did help him quite a bit though.
That is my new Smurf name next season. It's going to be the Unkillable Beef Crab.
I like it. I'm down. Okay, so now we're done with ADCs, so we can speed up a tiny bit. Bug fix on Azir. Oh my!
This is only the 7,000th patch in Season 5 with
That's true.
Azir bug fixes.
Fixed a bug where Azir and his allies could be pinned to his wall as a result of the abilities that collided with terrain. Wow. Fixed a bug where allied Gnar couldn't wall stun using Azir's. Huh.
Yo, did you look at the new Azir skin that's coming out?
Not yet. We're not there yet. That's next patch. Fixed a heartbreaking yet funny bug where Azir will stop allied Sion from being able to charge.
Stop Sion from...
Oh, seriously? You'd stop Unstoppable Onslaught with your... That would suck. That's really funny. That is heartbreaking. Well, how sad. All right, Kindred's next. Capped at, on the mark of Kindred, capped at 75, 10 plus per stack. No longer gives 1 stack on your buff bar when you have 0 stacks. I did notice that and thought it was confusing as all get out. Also in general, base health regen is down from 10 to 7 because you don't need it because you got your damn passive health coming back in all the time. After 6 stacks, Wolf will now hunt Baron Nashor and the Rift Herald instead of stopping his hunts. And now properly plays a sound effect when procced on mounting dread. So not really any big changes to Kindred. I still maintain if Kindred gets ahead early, it's just an absolute nightmare. But if she doesn't, or they don't, or however you want to look at it, then it feels kind of crappy. So. Yeah? How you doing?
I've honestly, this is the first time I'm going to say this, which is kind of awkward. I've never played this champion since she's came out,
Yeah.
and I think she's absolutely garbage.
If she gets ahead and she gets her stacks and she knows what she's doing.
Like, for me, it doesn't matter just because I've been playing a whole lot of like Kassadin and LeBlanc and champions that just like donkey kick her in the face.
No, that's fine.
It's like having 280 carries on a team where you have a LeBlanc or like a Kassadin is just like heaven. So to me, I think she's bad, but I see why she's good. Like, I don't actually think she's bad. It's just that.
Hold on, I have to yell at somebody.
What?
I have to yell at Soul. Get wrecked. Anyways.
We're going to LeBlanc.
The half dozen times I've played her or so, if I do get ahead, it's stupid. You can't turn her off. She does way too much damage. She can't be killed. It's really stupid.
I've never had that problem.
No, I'm just saying when I get ahead. Me. Not talking about random scrubs.
Whoa. Yeah, they scrubs.
But I will say on the other hand, when I fall behind a little bit, I can't seem to really do anything with her. I think she has this weird unbalance of either working out too well or just literally being shit. But I think because of the way the game is, people mostly get the shit side. So
people are freaking out and they don't understand the context of what I said about Kindred. I said that Kindred is good. She's just really bad against like either AoE burst assassins or like just assassins. Like if there's a good assassin on the other team, you're basically killing your own team by having a double 80 carry.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So like that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying. Never mind.
It's okay. It's Kyle. He misspeaks. It's okay.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that when I play assassins, I've never lost a game to Kindred, and so,
that's what she struggles the most against, though.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like she's very easy to counter, but I can see where she gets out of hand.
Yeah.
So.
Next is LeBlanc.
Ooh.
Passive on Mirror Image. Mirror Image will now display fake versions of blue, red, and Baron buffs. So, we'll probably see this happening to other champions in a second. Foreshadowing. So yeah, it'll be harder to figure out which one's the real one if they're actually tricky with what they can command with their mirror image, which is kind of cool. I like that. Although if they have a Baron buff and it's pre 20 minutes, and Scuttler hasn't been or Herald hasn't been killed, it's probably the fake one. So. Renekton is next. They fixed a bug where targets hit by a Ruthless Predator wouldn't be stunned if they managed to flash in time.
Hey, do you remember that in Worlds this happened?
I do!
Worlds?
Oh my god. It was Worlds, yeah. But they determined that nothing would have happened to that champion.
They just... Because everybody was already running away or some shit.
No. They were all CC'd so long that the stun would have wore off and they were already running away. Because what happens is TF landed a gold card and then they're like, we wanted to follow up. And it was like, no. You were being... They got... I think they got knocked up by Alistair and then shockwaved at the same time where like they were CC'd for 3 straight seconds and then there's no way to follow up on the person. Because the Evelyn that would have been stunned, who didn't get stunned by the Renekton, was it would have been after the flash had happened and they were already under a turret as well. So they declared at no way could you have gotten there.
Yeah.
And I agree. If you watch it, it's like, no, you guys weren't getting to her. Like you were yellow card and then knocked up. I mean, like you guys weren't going anywhere. So, yeah, that's how it works. So, but yeah, good to fix bugs. We always like that.
Yes, especially on champions that have been out for like 12 years.
Yeah, he's fantastic right now, by the way. People kind of forgot about him. Next is Riven. Broken Wings fixed a bug where the third strike from Broken Wings wouldn't let you cross terrain if cast a certain way.
So it's a buff.
So it's a buff if you're bad.
Making the game easier for baddies.
That's fine.
That's all I got to say about that.
That's most of this game.
That's
most
all
patches.
I got to say about that.
Shaco. Shikako. 2 Shiv poison no longer causes monsters to miss Shaco 20 to 30% of the time. Now slows the attack speed of monsters by 20 to 30% on hit. Okay.
I like that better.
It's interesting.
Well, it's because it actually should. I think it'll be more impactful. The slow rather than the miss.
Yeah, it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
It's, well, like what I mean is, it's like easier to just like adjust to.
Well, it's
that
for
makes sense.
no, it's for monsters.
Yeah, I know it'll be easier to adjust to because
Okay.
like you'll see the attack speed of them when they're slowed, and instead of like them maybe like there's always that chance that like you just get hit 4 times in a row. You know?
Yeah. No, I agree.
So
I agree.
I don't know. I like it.
Okay. And then on hallucinate. Shaco's hallucination now displays fake red, blue, and Baron buffs, just like mirror image on the LeBlanc. Hallucinate now randomizes its facing on spawn rather than always facing the same direction as Shaco. Now displays Hallucinate's remaining lifespan to Shaco only. How long it'll live. So that's kind of unique,
Yeah,
kind of nice. It makes sense. I like it.
I like the Now You See Me changes for LeBlanc and Shaco.
It makes it harder to play around it, which is good for them.
Yes,
You know?
it makes sense.
Yeah. Next is Scion. They fixed a bug where yelling at airborne minion would deal no damage. So that's a good fix. Kind of a small one. Probably didn't see that too often. Rolling Thunder on Volibear, attempting to cancel Rolling Thunder attack, no longer causes sluggish behavior. I have seen that before. That one's weird. It's like he stops doing things.
Yeah.
Wukong, Crushing Blow, attempting to cancel Crushing Blow attack, no longer causes sluggish behavior as well. The Decoy will now display fake versions with blue, red, and Baron buffs. If you have buffs, that is, obviously. Nimbus Strike fixed a bug where Wukong would path back to his previous target after using Nimbus Strike. I remember that. That was also not that fun. So a lot of bug fixes. We like the bug fixes. On Zed, fixed a bug where quickly casting Living Shadows and Raisin Shirker would cause Zed's Living Shadows to cast instantly instead of using the cast time. And I have seen that. It looks weird and it looks wrong.
Huh.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So those are the champion changes. Now there's lots of other changes. Some of these we'll get through quick because some of them are pretty straightforward. But then we'll get to items. So there is going to be attack damage adjustments to a lot of champions, just in general. Most of them, we're going to skim through these. You can look at these in depth, obviously, on the website, or hopefully you have the patch up right next to us as we're doing this, or if you just have good eyes and this is in full screen, that's also a thing too. Most everyone is getting an increase in attack damage base stat with a decretion of attack damage growth stat. It makes up for it. You just have better trading early or could deal more damage. Some are seeing nerfs, but not really any of them. It just depends on who they are. But pretty much buffs across the board for the ADCs, as we can see right there. Now, another change happening, which is in a similar vein, is mana and mana regen adjustments. So I think every champion who uses mana regeneration is getting affected, or almost every mana regen champion. So what's happening is all of these champions are seeing 50 base mana more with a -3 mana scaling, so a net -1 mana at level 18. But you have more early for a bigger mana pool. And
So
the one mana
basically,
should
they're
make a
trying to
big
make
difference.
the early game fun.
The other big thing we'll see, too, coming up with items and other things we'll talk about with the changes that we're going to see happening to turrets and with some other things, is that the game speed of League will once again increase. Games should be faster, or at least you'll be able to make more objective-based decisions to cause a game to end quicker. So having more mana early means you can fight more, meaning you can get into earlier expeditions and end games skirmishes. So all these champions are seeing 50 base mana and all that stuff. So Anivia, Ashe, Brand, Draven, Evelyn, Israel, Fiddlesticks, Fizz, Galio, Hecarim, Irelia, Jax, Jace, Kassadin, Lucian, Lux, Maokai, Nasus, Nautilus, Olaf, Pantheon, Ryze, Scion, Swain, Syndra, Talon, Varus, Vhagar, Vel'Koz, Xerath 6. Then on other champions, they're going
The
to be seeing,
supports.
the supports essentially are going to see more base mana regen per 5 seconds, meaning they can use more abilities while they're supporting. I know, crazy, right? We can actually fight down in bot lane more instead of using 2 abilities and not being able to fight for like, what, 7 minutes?
Were you playing Blitzcrank?
Pretty much. No, actually, the same thing is affecting Zyra, who is also on this list. She had that problem too. Like, you try to root 2 people and you ran out. So Ali, Blitz, Janna, Karma, Lulu, Morgana, Nami, Sona, Soraka, Kench, Taric, Zillion, and Zyra all get 2.5 more increase. So you will have more mana to do all of the mana things. We like that.
To do all of the mana things.
All right. It says we're going. It says we're good. I don't know. What did it do?
Did you reset it?
No, it reset itself automatically, but I didn't drop any frames, so who knows what that is.
Here we are. We're back.
We're back. I mean, we're good. All right. Well, we're back. Literally nothing
wait.
happened over here. Yeah, we're back. Nothing happened on my side. So.
All right, we're back.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nothing happened over here. It just literally was probably the server.
Tell me, people, that we are back. Hello.
Yeah. So I don't know. Nothing happened over here. We were all fine. So Grievous Wounds, 40% reduced healing, and now only affects self-healing instead of all healing. So not Raka, not Sona healing, not Monsoon healing. So yeah, we're fine on that. So next.
I actually think that's a huge deal, especially for, like, there's not a lot of things that have Grievous Wounds anymore.
No.
But, like, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's
when you do have it.
I agree.
I guess. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basic
All right.
attacks.
So empowered basic attack charges are being affected in this to be more consistent, because this was something that was not consistent throughout the past season. So things like Blinding Dart or Jax's Counter-Strike were inconsistent. So the following abilities will be consumed and not have an effect if they would miss. So, for example, Blitzcrank and his Power Fist, if this empowered attack, like if he's blinded and he goes to Power Fist, nothing will happen. The person will not take the double damage because he's blinded, and they will also not get knocked up. It 100% won't do a thing, and it will be consumed. So it will go on cooldown as if it was used. Nothing will happen. So those are all happening to all these people's abilities. So Crippling Strike, Z-Drive, Decisive Strike, Mercy Hammer, Empower, Nether Blade, Shield of Daybreak, Double Strike, Siphoning Strike, Staggering Blow, Savagery, Ruthless Predator, Runic Blade, Frail of the Northern Winds, Twin Bite, Fracture, Power Chord, Demoxine Diplomacy, Chomp, Pick a Card, Bear Stance, Tumble, Siphon Power, Crushing Blow, 3 Talon Strike, and Short Fuse. So those won't have any effect if that's what happens.
Short.
Yes, I am streaming later. I'm also streaming now. Got him. So those are going to be awesome. I think it's awesome that they're going to take, like, basically, because the big thing I noticed when these didn't work right is the crowd control would happen, but you want to take the damage. And the crowd control was still effective enough to put them at an advantage. So now if you're Teemo and you blind Xin Zhao as he tries to get that third proc off to knock you up, nothing's going to happen. Because he's blind. He shouldn't knock you up.
You just take out blind.
No.
Alright. I tried. Sorry, guys.
He tried. I tried. He tried.
I gave my best effort.
Yeah. So, new buff is coming to the Rift called the Rift Herald. He's going to be in the Baron pit. He spawns at 4 minutes into the game, and he'll be there before Baron. Once Baron starts to show up, he will leave. He spawns at 4 minutes. He'll respawn every 5 minutes once he's been killed. He despawns at 1945 when he'll become out of combat, and then 1955, no matter what, if you're trying to kill him, he's just going to disappear. He's just going to leave. He's going to be, peace out, homie. He deals 15% of his maximum damage as true damage. If backstepping Rift Herald brings it to 50% below, the eye stays open. Rift Herald takes 35% less damage from ranged basic attacks. Slaying Rift Herald grants 50 gold for your team. And Doom's Eye to whoever lands the killing blow for 2 minutes. Alright, so Rift Herald Slayer gains the following bonuses. 10% increased damage, 40% movement speed, and enhanced Baron Recall. Minions near Rift Herald Slayer gain the following bonuses. 40% increased attack speed and 100% extra range on cannon minions. So it's like a mini Baron buff if your laner gets it. And obviously he gets the increased stuff. If your jungler was to get this, you're going to get that increased damage, which is good for ganking. You're going to get that movement speed, which is always good for ganking. And you're going to get Baron Recall. So you can get around the map a little bit quicker for those 2 minutes.
I think it's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
Because now lane swaps will actually kind of matter. Because you can get the Rift Herald, and I actually think that early game the Rift Herald could... If you have like an early game snowbally team, the Rift Herald will be more important than Dragon.
Oh yeah. Especially if you have like
Because like basically you put your AD carry and your support top lane, and you have like some jungler that has like pretty good pressure, like a Lee Sin or something.
Yeah, get Lee Sin to get it. Holy God.
Yeah, and then you basically just go top and like shove in the turret, and then you rotate mid, you shove in the turret, and probably by that it'll be out. But like that's 300 gold.
Yeah.
For the team, like per person or whatever.
Yeah. Oh no, more than that.
Yeah.
Because foreshadowing, turrets are worth more gold.
But you know what I'm saying? Like it's a huge deal for those like early game snowball teams.
But it's only for 2 minutes, so. Yeah. 2 minutes is not that long of a time, so you might be able to get a turret, but getting a turret, that might actually be pretty tough. So it's very short, but it is very impactful. So that is what he's going to be doing. Game pacing changes. They're changing up some stuff for game pacing. Focused on changes that were intended to be blah, blah, blah. We're trying to amp things up. Team stuff, gold flow, and other things. Shorter version, blah, blah, blah. Habda, habda, hoo, blah, ha. All right, so moving on from that, that's just kind of the overview for this next section. So game start time. Minions and monsters in the jungle will spawn 15 seconds sooner.
They could honestly cut a minute off of it instead of 15 seconds.
Well, I'm okay with it for the people who are still trying to connect on my team. But yes, I do agree. But 15 seconds is nice, so the game starts 15 seconds sooner for all the objective stuff. Ambient gold. For doing nothing, you are going to get, instead of 9.5 gold every 5 seconds, it's going to be 10.2 gold every 5 seconds. After 12 minutes, the 2 members of each team with the least gold at any given moment gain an additional 2 gold per 5 seconds, increasing by 0.1 per minute. So if somebody is AFK, they are going to be getting more gold for being AFK, but if you're like the support, you're going to get an increased gold income rate to then potentially catch up and actually have more items and have more impact. So whoever is the lowest gold income on your team, typically the support, they're going to get bonus gold for that reason. But if for some reason your support's getting a million kills because they're Zyra or Annie or God knows what, then as an ADC who probably will be the next gold starve, maybe the jungler, they will get the increased gold, which is kind of cool. It goes to just whoever is the poorest. I like that, actually.
Yeah.
But we can see how the game is being sped up because of the way they're going to be giving us more gold. We'll be getting items a little bit quicker, and then we'll be getting bailed out if you are behind. So,
I like that.
Yeah, I'm down with the sickness. Kill gold is changing. Bounties are now visualized by a banner next to the champion's health bar. Bounties begin occurring after 2 consecutive kills. That's unchanged. Bounties increase per additional consecutive kills up to 5, which is also unchanged. Bounties are no longer reset on death. Instead, dying now reduces their bounty by 3. So it doesn't completely go away. They're still got bounties on them. So if somebody's legendary and you kill them for bounties, they're still technically worth bounties because they have so many damn kills in a row. So that's ways to catch up, is to continuously keep down that person.
Well, obviously, if that's possible.
Yeah. A bounty tier for 1 is now possible, but only if a champion dies while at a bounty of 4, because it decreased by 3, so they'll have a bounty of 1.
Okay.
So, bounty gold rewards. So, This is the increased 20 gold per tier 1, 30, 60, 70, 90. Which
That's
is the
team
max.
gold?
Yes, bounties now provide team gold.
Wait, yeah. So that's pretty good. That's
Consecutive
nice.
assists, though, no longer grant bonus gold.
Okay, that's good.
Turrets. This is the turrets part. Lots of numbers. Okay, so basic attacks against turrets deal damage equal to basic attacks plus either 1 bonus attack damage or 0.5 ability power, whichever one is higher. So one works better for mages and one works better for attack damage based champions. Turret resistances are also different. The base armor and magic resist on turrets is going down from 100 to 0. Turrets gain 2 armor and magic resist per minute up to a maximum of 30. Outer turrets begin scaling at the start of the game. Inner turrets start at 15 minutes. And inhibitor and nexus turrets start at 30 minutes. Turrets gain 200 armor and magic resist if no minions are nearby.
That's pretty huge.
Yeah. So the other big change, though, because technically turrets are getting nerfed with the whole armor thing.
Resistances?
Yes, they're getting more base health. So outer turrets have 3,500 instead of 2,000. Inners have 3,500 instead of 2,500. Inhibitor turrets have 4,000 instead of 2,800. And Nexus turrets have 4,000 instead of 3,000. So lots of more health to get through, but less resistances that you have to fight through.
Dude.
And then turret gold rewards. Outer turrets are 220 gold instead of 150, and inner turrets are 250 instead of 100. So they're actually worth more instead of less.
Local gold.
Local gold, yes. So they're worth more, though, to you as local gold than 100. Like, that's a big change.
Yeah.
It's a lot of gold. It's like a
That's
kill.
good.
So turrets are going to be a little bit different. Obviously, they're going to shoot the same, have the same attack speeds, same damage numbers so far, but they're going to be seeing different scaling with their defenses, and when they will start scaling, and way more health. So,
Good.
yes. Minions are seeing changes. They'll make their official debut in 523, though. Not 522. They're going to pause these changes, but they introduced them in this patch. So,
Okay.
if your team's average level is... Should we just skip this?
Yeah, we can.
We're going to skip this because it's happening next patch, so we'll hit it then. So,
Dude.
alright, so jungle's getting some tweaks as well. We're actually seeing a lot of jungle monsters lose armor. You're going to get a little bit less experience, but some of them you're actually going to get more gold, which is kind of cool. Crescent of Insight now grants its wearer 2 ability power per level. Oh, okay, so blue is going to now grant some ability power.
That's nice.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, and he's got less armor and less experience, but more gold. And then the little guys with him are also going to have less health, no armor, and a little bit of magic resist. Okay, 10. Not a big deal. So now red buff, 10 less armor, no attack damage per level, it's just 0 now, less experience earned. Gold reward, though, is higher, and you are going to now deal the true damage. It now amplifies on turrets, so you now can do true damage to turrets like how Gangplank can with his barrel explosive proc on his
That's nice.
passive. So now you can do true damage to turrets if you have red buff, which makes red buff feel like less of a waste if you are actually pushing turrets down. So the little dudes have less health, they have no armor, and they have a little bit of magic resist. Raptor, less experience but more gold. And the little raptors now have less health and no armor. The Merc Wolf has less attack range,
More attack range.
more attack range. Experience is down, and the gold reward is up. And then Merc Wolf has less health and no armor. Krug, less range, less attack damage, less experience, more gold. Krug, less attack damage, less health, no magic resist, and no armor. I kind of like that, actually.
Yeah.
Gromp, minus 10 magic resist. Interesting. Attack damage is decreased. Experience is decreased. Gold is increased. Rift Scuttler now gives 70 gold instead of 65. So a little bit more from him. We all love that.
I like those changes.
Teleport is getting nerfed.
Good. Yes.
Cooldown
Just
on
fix that
turret
shit.
cast is now 300 seconds, so it's back to what it used to be. Instead of getting the 1 minute cooldown or whatever it used to be. Isn't that right? Yeah.
Yes.
And then the channel time is up 0.5 seconds. So teleport is...
Takes longer to do.
Yeah. And to use it more often, yeah. So, and they are removing clairvoyance and clarity. Now, if you were using either of these, I feel bad for you.
Because you shouldn't have been using them.
Because you were losing games by using these. There's so many other better things.
I actually
Yes.
think that they could just go away with summer spells in general. But like I've been saying that, I think Hoyt and I have been saying that for 3 seasons.
When was the last time Hoyt even played the game?
No, 3 seasons ago.
Oh,
but
thought so.
but like if you're going to just slowly start to whittle it down, like I wish that they'd like bring in different ones.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
That's just me.
So, next are removed items. So, everybody get your lighters out and say a vigil and get your tears flowing. Although tears not removed. Avarice Blade, Crystalline Flask, Elixir of Rune, Mana Potions, Poacher's Knife, Trailblazer, Stealth Wards, Sword of the Occult, the Brutalizer, Twin Shadows, and Zephyr have all been removed from the game. None of those are near as important as Force of Nature, though, so my tears are withheld.
All right. Go
Marksman itemization is next. BF Sword now costs less gold but gives less attack damage. Agility Cloak costs more gold but gives more crit chance. Infinity Edge costs less gold but gives less base attack damage instead. Still has the same build path, so you know it. Essence Reaver's actually seeing some legitimate changes. It's going to cost 400 more gold. It's going to have a different build path, obviously, with the Warhammer, the BF Sword, and a Cloak. 65 attack damage instead of 80. Critical Strike now 20%. No lifesteal. Basic attacks no longer restore missing mana. Instead, 10% of your cooldown reduction grants up to 20% additional cooldown reduction equal to your crit strike from other sources. Critically strikes restore 3% of your maximum mana. Caster, crit chance, 80 carries could use this item. Lucian. Recurve Bow, 100 less gold. Dagger, that's what it builds. Obviously, that's the same. Attack speed's 25% instead of 30%, but its on-hit physical damage is increased by 5. So, little trade. Builds Water Cutlass, 1650 now instead of 1400. Vampiric Scepter, Longsword, 350 gold, and we get 2% lifesteal back on it. So we're at 10%. And then Blade of the Ruined King is now 200 gold more. It's the same build path. Current health damage is actually being decreased to 6% instead of 8%.
What the shit?
It's getting a nerf. It needed it.
What the shit?
You okay?
I didn't agree with that, but go ahead.
Okay. Zeal costs 100 more gold. And it does 15% attack speed instead of 20, but is getting more crit chance with 20 instead of 10. So you get more crit, but less attack speed. Phantom Dancer is now new. It also has a pretty new icon, which I think is weird looking, but
I think it looks better than the old one.
I mean, I'm just used to old things.
Oh, I know.
Total cost is actually cheaper by 100. It is Zeal Dagger plus 900 gold. Its attack speed is reduced by 10. It's now 40%. Critical strike chance is now 30% instead of 35. It does not give you movement speed as a base stat. It no longer ignores unit collision, but within 500 units of an enemy champion you see, you will gain 12% movement speed and pass through units, so that's how you get it. And then also basic attacks. When you basic attack a champion, it causes them to deal 12% less damage to you for 10 seconds. Can only be active on one champion at a time. So, when somebody's jumping on your face and you start to auto them, they're going to do reduced damage to you. I'm not going to be
killed by tanks anymore.
Yes. When a Sejuani jumps on a Vayne and is perma-slowing her into the ground, you're at least going to be taking less damage for it.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
But you know what I'm saying.
Or about meow fight.
Meow fight. So.
Alright. I get behind that.
I like the new Phantom Dancer. It actually makes it unique. Because the big problem we had, and they're going to see a distinguishing fact between this and Static Shiv, is Phantom Dancer and Static Shiv were so close to each other, it was like, well, which one do I get? And the only thing that made sense was if you're like so hyper you wanted to run through things and have more crit chance, you just get a Phantom. But if you wanted more burst on a wave or burst on your first hit, you got a Static Shiv. Those were the only differences. So now they're bigger than that. Next is the Hurricane. The unchanged cost is the same. It is a recurve bow, a Zeal, and gold. Its attack speed is down majorly from 70% to 40%, but you do get 30% critical strike chance, and you do pick up 5% movement speed. On hit on that physical damage is obviously up from 10 to 15. And then its bolt ratio is going to go down to 0.25 of total attack damage instead of 0.5, but the bolts can now critically strike. and that kind of makes up for that.
This is a lot.
Yeah.
Not sure how that's gonna change.
This will affect Callista a lot.
Yeah.
But way less attack speed. But she'll be able to start critting earlier, which is damage she's really been missing.
And Kog'Maw.
If Kog'Maw buys it, yeah.
Well, like, just think about it. You could build like IE, Hurricane, and
Final answer?
kill the entire team.
Well, yeah, why wouldn't you?
I don't know. That's pretty ridiculous. All right. The Shad.
The Shad. 750 gold. Dagger plus gold. 15% attack speed. Moving and attacking builds up stacks up to 100 when fully stacked. Your next basic attack expends the charges and becomes energized. Your energized basic attacks deal 30 bonus magic damage on hit. This is going to build with a Zeal to become a static Shiv.
Oh, I like that.
Which will give you 35% attack speed, which is 5% less. The cost is still the same on this item, by the way. You get 10% more critical strike chance, so you're at 30%. Movement speed base is going to go down from 6% to 5%. We're just evening those out. Static Shiv magic damage is now 50 to 150, depending on your level, instead of just 100 all the time. And the Shiv lightning targets are now 5 instead of 4. Now deals 50% bonus damage to minions, which is one of the reasons you bought Shiv was to shove waves. So now you can actually proc, hit the wave harder, and actually push it. So Shiv is more shivvy.
Better. Yeah.
Yes.
Is better.
Next is the rapid fire cannon. Kyle, you're gonna love this one. I'm joking. You're gonna hate it. Total cost is 2,500. It's Zeal plus that shard plus 550, 30% attack speed, 30% critical strike chance. Moving and attacking builds stacks up to 100 when fully stacked. Your next basic attack expends the charges and becomes energized. Your energized attack now gains 35% bonus range and deals 50 to 200 magic damage on hit. And it works on structures. So now you can hit turrets from outside turret range. But this is a different push.
Whoever thought that.
Well, this is a different pushing thing because it's not going to stack and bounce between minions and deal 50% more, but you will be able to hit turrets. Like,
whoever thought that was a good idea.
So what this is you don't need a static Shiv on Tristana because she can naturally blow up a wave because of how her kit works already. But she can build the rapid fire cannon, push a wave with her kit normally, then get to the turret, and then rapid fire cannon because she's going to be using her increased range as she levels up, and she's going to be having her explosive charge on the turret. So she's just really wants to wombo turrets even faster. I lost Kyle, guys.
Whoever thought that was a good change needs to be fired. Like,
it's interesting. I don't think it's actually
like
going to be
yesterday.
I don't think it's going to be as impactful as some would think, but we'll see. It could be. I could be wrong.
I don't think that it's going to be bought all the time. I think it'll be like a niche item, but like,
yeah,
it's still fucking annoying.
It's interesting. They're just adding diversity.
That's not diversity. That's toxicity.
Well, it's toxic if you make it toxic, Kyle. Kyle made it toxic, guys. It's his fault.
No, it's toxicity if it's toxic.
I don't think that's toxic. That item just sounds actually pretty mediocre at best. So.
Yeah, I know, but like if you get like, let's say, never mind.
Okay. Next is the Last Whisper. It costs way less gold, but that's because it's a way different item now. It costs 1,300 gold instead of 2,300 gold. It's pickaxe plus gold. It's only 25 attack damage instead of 40, and it ignores 30% of bonus armor instead of 35% of total armor. The reason why it is less gold is because Last Whisper is basically taking over for Brutalizer.
Are they introducing a new Last Whisper?
Yes, the Giant Slayer.
Oh my god. Alright, let's go.
Giant Slayer is also not actually... That's not what it builds into. The Giant Slayer is just 1,000 gold. It's a longsword plus gold. It gives you 10 attack damage, and it grants up to 10% damage against enemy champions with greater maximum health than you. 1% per 50 health difference, maxing at 500 health difference. That makes sense. Okay, so...
That could actually be pretty big, I think, for like people who...
When you're in a lane where they're a super tank and you're not a super tank, and you want to deal damage to them because your early damage is not going to ever get through a Giant's Belt or like let's say you have like a Bilgewater and they have a Randuin's Omen. Like, I don't care if they have no damage in their kit. They're not going to die, and they're going to kill you because your build watcher is not enough to get through them. But getting a giant slayer will start to actually make that fight even, because you, as someone with a disadvantage in health, will now have an advantage with an item that helps fight. There's also going to be something coming up with this that is to help ADCs, and it's going to help other champions in general. I'll talk about that when we get to it. So yes, but can you see how this works? You see how it works. I'm telling all of you.
I get what you're saying. I don't know how great that item's going to be.
Well, it's going to build into something that is great for a few champions. We'll get there.
Maybe.
Executioner's Calling is new. It's back. Total cost 800, longsword and gold, 15 attack damage, physical damage, inflicts grievous wounds on enemy champions for 3 seconds. So we have more wound items now. Lord Dominic's Regards, 2,700 gold. Last Whisper plus Giant Slayer, 400 gold, gives you 40 attack damage. Grants 15% damage against enemy champions with greater maximum health than you. Last Whisper is the passive 40% bonus armor penetration. So this is still under what they're calling marksman itemization changes, correct? Correct. This is to help marksmen out because you will always have less health than pretty much everyone. But this is also going to buff champions who like to build damage but no health. Who is that off the bat who has been irrelevant for multiple seasons?
Riven.
Trendemir. It's Trendemir.
Riven.
No.
All I heard was Riven. You had me at Riven.
No, it's Trendemir. Well, she could probably use it too. But Trendemir, for example, really doesn't ever buy health because there's really no point since you can just scream and not die for like 4 to 6 seconds. So he can build this, go up to super tanks with crit chance and a Lord Dominique's Regards and go hamskis. Because he's going to be dealing extra damage because he doesn't have health and it doesn't matter. Yes, also that. Some of these items that are meant for ADCs that also just any melees can build are going to be helping them too, kind of secretly. And we'll probably find some that are really, really strong on some melee champions. So, remind that. Mortal Reminder, 2,700 gold. Last Whisper, Executioner's Calling, 40 attack damage. Physical damage inflicts grievous wound on enemy champions for 5 seconds. And you get the Last Whisper 40% bonus armor penetration.
You know what I like? I like
Hands.
how there's now only one armor penetration item in the game. I know we just went over 2, but they're unique passives.
Yeah. They use the same base one, though. Instead of a Brutalizer that didn't actually build into a Last Whisper. It only built into one item. Brutalizer built into 2 items. One of them was in the jungle, but that didn't matter. Because if you weren't a jungler, you couldn't buy it. So it built into one item. That's why they removed Brutalizer. So...
That's true.
It was a broken build path. Because if you accidentally picked up a Brutalizer early and then realized that you didn't want to Yumu's, you're like, oh crap, I can't build that into a Black Cleaver anymore. Because they changed Black Cleaver.
That's true.
Scimitar. Mercurial Scimitar. 3,700 gold. Still the same. Pickaxe, Vampiric, Quicksilver Sash. 75 attack damage instead of 80. 10% lifesteal. A little bit different. Bloodthirster. 200 more gold. Same build plus a longsword. 75 attack damage.
Yo, I actually like that scimitar change.
Yeah, it's good. That's actually a lot of damage. Because remember, Infinity Edge has less damage on it now.
Well, I don't only mean the damage. I always felt dirty because, like, when you buy the scimitar, it's only for the cleanse. Like,
yep.
Yes, the magic resist helps, but if you get hit by 2 spells, you're pretty much fucked.
Yeah.
And so, like, to me, it just like you had that missing stat for the magic resist section, and I actually getting a little something else besides the cleanse and the damage. So I like that change. But Bloodthirster, yeah, good stuff. Oh wait, nerfed. So bad stuff.
Yeah. So that is the ADC stuff, although those work on all champions, except for, like Hurricane, shit like that. Item efficiency tuning. So, we'll get to that later. Well, it's not later, it's just, this is covering the next section. So, we're going to kind of gloss over most of these unless they're big changes.
Oh my god, they're nerfing mid laners. Yeah!
Yeah, no, this is all about ADCs this season. Come on.
Hey, guys. I just want you guys to know that this is the Nerf Faker patch. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. So ability power itemization is changing. Luden's Echo costing more gold. Death Cap costing more gold. Seeker's Arm Guard decreased in ability power and a decrease in armor. Hourglass costing more gold, decrease in armor. Archiego's Staff costing more gold. A Rod of Ages costing more gold, granting more ability power though to make up for the gold cost.
Wait a second, 80 and then you get 40?
Yeah,
or is it 20?
It'll stack up to be like all the other ones now at max.
120?
No, I think it's just I think it just go to. No, is it just 20? I think it's just 20.
It just goes to 100.
Yeah, maybe I could be wrong.
Daddy.
Rhyolite Crystal Scepter costing 200 more gold. Haunting Guise costing 100 more gold. Torment costing 200 more gold. Namacon costing 150 more gold. Will the Ancients costing less gold because let's face it, it needed to.
Come
it's
on,
a
Andrew.
crappy item.
Namacon costs 250 more gold.
That's what I said. When I say only 150, my bad.
Yeah.
250. But Will of the Ancients cost less because it's a bad item and it needs more cooldown reduction on it. Athene's costs 100 more gold. Soul Stealer is actually seeing changes. The gold cost is the same. Its build path is, though, from the Dark Seal, which is a new starting item for mid laners who want to snowball hard. It gives 200 mana. Do or Die grants 4 glory per champion kill or 2 per assist. Up to 25 glory total. Upon dying, you lose 10 stacks of glory. Dread grants 5 ability power per glory. Grants 10% movement speed if you have at least 15 glory. So, if you get kills, you're going to get more ability power. If you die, you're going to lose a big chunk of ability power. This is really meant for snowballing, like even harder now. It's going to grant you that movement speed if you have 15 glory, and then once again, if you do max out the Stealer, then you will get the CDR.
So why did they leave in the Soul Stealer if they took out the Occult?
Because Occult didn't fit.
Neither does Soul Stealer.
I kind of agree. Don't get me wrong. It's
Like,
way easier to.
Now that you're nerfing the mid laners.
Can I say why I think? So I think the reason why is a mid laner can actually snowball harder than anybody who uses Occult, and the reason for this is most champions that use the Occult will actually be getting in deep into a fight to actually probably die. It doesn't make sense to buy a stacking item based off not dying, when in fact a back liner, like someone who can use Soul Stealer, such as a Xerath or Ziggs, doesn't ever want to get into a fight. They want to throw things into a fight. They don't want to be in a fight. Anyone who uses Occult wants to be in a fight.
Okay, you ready for my counter argument?
Yeah, I'm ready for it. It's wrong, but I'm ready for it.
Soul Stealer was really, really good because the itemization for mid laners was so cheap compared to 80 carries or like Riven players, like 80 champions, because like you go back and you have a lot more variance in what you can buy to do the same, like to, because like Needlessly Large Rod is 1200 gold, 1250 gold, and BF Sword was 5500 gold or 1550, right? So you just like get that power spike earlier. And
yeah, that's why they're matching it.
And the base damages are higher on the abilities for the mid laners, so it was easier to snowball earlier. And so now that they're like kind of switching, they're making it harder to get those early like power spikes.
Yeah, you'll actually have to be conscious of your
You'll have to be good at the game in order to use Soul Stealer. You won't be like every Katarina average.
The other reason too is, well, she hasn't been a problem for like a season and a half. But the other thing too, I know some people are freaking out about how much damage you'll be able to get. The thing is, anytime you see somebody with a Soul Stealer, you should be saying to your team, or you should all consciously know this, is like, they got a Soul Stealer, let's kill them. A lot. Make it not worth it so it's gold inefficient, because you can make it an even worse item. Yeah, you can make it a worse item for them buying it than if they can stack it. So, once again, you have to be good. Which is why in my builds, or most of the time when you guys watch me play, you won't ever see me build a Soul Stealer. It's too much of a gamble. I could get it to work, and I'm not worried about that, but it's too much of a gamble because you are naturally putting a bigger target on your head building one than not building one. You can sneak around with a death cap, and people will ignore you. If you buy a Soul Stealer, they're going to want to murder your face. So, as much as this can be really good, it has a very negative consequence of just buying one says, kill me now.
Good.
Next is the Void Staff. It costs 150 more gold. The Scepter costs 100 less gold. It was already good. Wow, really? Wow, awesome. Lichbane costs 200 more gold. You get a little bit more movement speed, and you get some cooldown reduction now. So, actually some little buffs.
Because Lichbane was terrible.
It got nerfed decently, but it's okay on a couple champions. You just don't.
What did you use Lichbane for?
On who?
No, what did you use it for? Turret pushing.
Well, and killing people.
It was good on like TF and Ziggs, and like that was it.
TF, Ziggs, and Diana. That's about it. Stinger costs 50 less gold and gives you 50 attack speed, so you get a little more attack speed. And Gnasher's Tooth costs the same, and you get 10% more attack speed. Hooray, Diana players who like to build that way. Defensive items, Glacier Shroud's 100 more gold. Warden's Milk gives you 5 less armor. Frozen Heart costs 200 more gold. Omen costs 300 more gold, but gives you 50 more health. Thorn Mail costs 50 more gold. Dead Man's Plate costs 50 more gold. Quicksilver Sash costs 50 more gold. Spectral's Cowl costs 100 less gold. Okay. And it gives you less magic resist by 5. Banshee's Veil, magic resist actually being increased to 70 and more health by 50 with a 200 gold cost increase. Spirit Visage, 100 gold cost increase. 500 health, 70 magic resist.
Holy shit. Alright.
That's pretty cool. Bambi's Cinder, 100 more gold.
Bambi's Cinder?
Bambi.
Alright.
Warmog's, 100 more gold, 50 more health. Sunfire Cape, 100 more gold, 50 more health. Guardian Angel, 100 more gold, 10 more armor, and 10 more magic resist. Aegis of the Legion, 100 gold less. 10 less magic resist aura. I feel like they're just murdering auras off for magic resist. This used to be even higher.
Wasn't it like 30 at one point?
Yeah, like 25 or something, yeah. Lock of the Iron Solari is...
What was Bulwark? It was like 30, 35.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've nerfed it. Lock of the Iron Solari...
So they're wait a second.
250 less gold.
So they made people gain gold faster, but everything costs more.
Yeah, but it gives you better stats too, though, for it.
Some of them.
Some of them.
Like 50 health. 50 health is not worth 300
But
goddamn gold.
I don't know if we got to it yet, but it'll come up. So we're getting a little bit more gold, but we haven't got to the part where we're making more gold.
All right, gotcha.
From something else. Jungle items. Hunter's Machete now costs 350 gold, and it gives you 8% lifesteal versus monster instead of 15 bonus gold on a monster kill. You don't get that anymore. You no longer burn monsters or give regeneration by hitting monsters. You just have the percentage versus monsters for lifesteal. Basic attacks deal 20 damage on hit versus monsters. Killing large monsters grants 15 bonus experience. So the experience we saw getting removed from monsters basically is on Hunter's Machete. This means if you are a non-jungler, you won't be getting as much experience as a jungler who has a jungle item. This, once again, is a screw you to Fiddlesticks. So, fun fact. Yeah. Hunter's Talisman, 350 gold, 150% while jungling. Tooth. Damaging a monster deals 20 health over 5 seconds. Killing large monsters grants you the 15 bonus experience. Then there is the Skirmishers, which is 1,050 gold instead of 850. Hunter's Machete plus the Hunter's Talisman for 350. 10% versus monsters on lifesteal, and then 150% mana regeneration while jungling. No longer grants 30 bonus gold on large monster kill. No longer burns monsters or gives regeneration when you hit them. Instead, basic attacks now deal 20 bonus damage versus monsters. Damaging monsters steals 30 health over 5 seconds. Killing the large monsters grants 30 bonus experience, and side grade cost is 200 instead of 255.
Cool.
Interesting.
Cool.
Stalkers. Price is
It's the same thing.
Match. Yeah. It's
Nail
the
has
same.
the nail passive.
Yep. So that's the same. It's, they removed those two things and added those. Tracer's Knife.
Now that's a knife.
Now that's a knife right there.
Do you know? Can you name that? If you can name that, I'll give you
I think I know
$5.
what it is, but should we let them name it?
No, I'm not gonna give them $5.
Oh, well then never mind. I'm going on.
Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, that's
Come
what I
on.
thought. Yeah. Hunter's Machete and then Talisman, 350 gold, 10% versus monsters, 150 mana regeneration percentage while jungling. Tooth and Nail, basic attacks, do the 20 and the damage and the experience. Warding consumes a charge to place a stealth ward that reveals the surrounding area for 150 seconds. Holds up to 2 charges, which refill upon visiting the shop. So, wards.
Because wards aren't a thing anymore.
Yeah, so now you have wards. Lee Sin. No? Maybe. These are just tier 2.
Yeah, but it's... Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, Rune Glaive is now the Sheen Amplifying Tone, and then the tier 2 jungling item. And then it gives you 250 mana, 40 ability power, 2675 total, so they cost more. Cinder Hulk, same thing. Bammies, still the same. Cost more gold, though, because it's tier 3 now, technically. Warrior, cost more gold. Warhammer now, and then tier 2 jungle item, 60 attack damage instead of 45, but you don't have any armor penetration that's been removed. Devourer is not actually as much as the other two. It costs less, 2450. Recurve jungle 2 item, 40% attack speed instead of 50. Sated on-hit damage, though, is up to 60 instead of 50. You have less attack speed. Interesting. Support items, the coin costs less. You get more gold when a minion dies. Nomad costs less. You get more base health regen. You don't get the movement speed or the gold passive, but you do get 6 gold whenever a nearby enemy dies.
Oh god, I gotta throw out this comment. Kyle, okay, I will take $5 even if it's covered in salt.
Oh, salty.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Talisman is also getting a buff, although it costs 100 more gold. It does remove the 20 movement speed, and it does remove the passive gold, but you do get 6 whenever a minion dies, and the active cooldown is actually going back up to 60. It's actually getting nerfed. But you do get 6 gold whenever a minion dies, so you're nearby.
That's not bad. I like it a lot.
Enemy minion, not just any minion. Relic Shield costs less. 2 gold per 10 seconds. It's now getting that passive. 2 gold per 10 seconds. For the Tagon's Brace, 15 less gold. And Face of the Mountain is the same cost. You get 50 less health. You get the heal of just 50. It's going to just be 50. You still keep the 2 gold per 10 seconds. And Face of the Mountain's active shield detonation now slows nearby enemies by 40% for 2 seconds, instead of dealing damage. So no damage dealt, just a slow. I think I'm okay with that. You weren't using it for the damage.
That's true.
I never put the Face of the Mountain on somebody saying, I hope it kills them.
Well, I don't like how the gold generation doesn't scale at all. Like, I think it should go like 2 to 3 or 2 to 4 when you upgrade it.
Yeah.
I understand why it doesn't, but like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
you did it for Talisman shit item. Alright.
So salty. Spell Thieves, cheaper, but gives you more gold on attacking. Less gold for Frostfang. It gives you more ability power and more base regeneration for your mana, and it gives you more gold on base attacking. And then Frost Queens is now unchanged on the cost. You get even more mana regen, which I like because that item never gave enough. You get that 15 gold damage on attack.
Yo, you got Ghostbusters on Frost Queen's claim.
Ooh, summon 2 icy ghosts for 6 seconds to seek out nearby enemy champions. Ghosts reveal enemies on contact and reduce their movement speed by 40% for 4 seconds. That's so much better too. I might actually buy that item again. I would never finish it originally. It's so much better now though.
Yep, I agree.
Ardent Sensor now costs 100 more gold. Crucible now costs 150 less gold, but gives you 5 less magic resist. And Zeke's Harbinger costs 100 more gold. Vision. Visionary once said something about vision. It was vision wards now cost 75 gold instead of 100. Stealth wards are no longer available for purchasing. Stealth ward's duration also only lasts 150 seconds now instead of 180. You can still have them, you just can't purchase them. We'll get to that. Upon death or expiration, wards leave behind rubble. It is team-colored and lasts 5 minutes and appears as circles where the ward was when active. Wards now indicate their vision range while being placed. That's actually kind of a nice change, honestly.
For evil end players.
Yes.
They're not evil end
So you can
players.
see how the enemy wards, or if you're like 20 minutes in the game and you don't see any dead ward indicators, you can be like, wow, our enemy doesn't ward. Let's kill them.
You should. It shouldn't take you till 20 minutes.
Well, you know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
If you can see that their habits are to ward one bush, you know, like they ward one bush. Okay, we'll go in this one. Sightstone now gives 3 charges instead of 4 wards, or 3 wards instead of 4 wards. In addition to Ruby Sightstone can now combine with tier 2 support items. So that's coming up. We'll talk about that. Ruby Sightstone gives 4 charges instead of 5. It gives you 100 more health, but it costs 200 more gold. And it also has item activation cooldown reduced by 10%. So you have that now.
All right.
Eye of the Watchers.
Ooh.
200 more
It's a
gold.
lady.
It's a Sightstone and a Frost Fang. It gives you 200 health, 25 ability power, 2 gold per 10 seconds, 150 mana regeneration increased from the base. Tribute, spells that you cast get you that extra gold and can occur up to 3 times every 30 seconds. Now, warding, it consumes a charge to place a stealth ward that reveals the surrounding area for 150 seconds. Holds up to 4 charges and refills when you go back to the shop.
Yo, why do they even have that in the game then?
What?
Why do they have Frost Queen's Claim in the game?
Because then
That's
you
the
can,
thing.
because if you don't want to do this and get the health, you can get the shadow guys and get the slows.
But what the shit? Then you would have to have an empty ruby. You'd have a ruby side.
Well, you could build it into
closed
something
map.
else.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Eye of Osiris.
Nomad's medallion.
Nomad's Sightstone. Health. Base health regen. Base mana regen. Being near a minion at death will then give you 6 gold and 10 health. And once again, you get the stealth ward charges. You hold 4 of them, 150 second duration,
Same
refills when you go to the shop. Eye of the Equinox. Sightstone plus Targons. 500 health, 100 health regeneration base.
And the same thing.
Passive gold. Spoils of War. Melee attack. Melee basic attacks execute minions below 240 health. And you get the 50 health and grants the killing gold. These effects require a nearby ally champion. Regenerates every 30 seconds with a maximum of 4 charges. And you also have the stealth wards as well.
All right. That's nice. I like it.
What they're doing, though, is they're taking the 2 items, and instead of saying you have a Sightstone and you have a Targons, it shoves them together and says, now you can build other real items.
Yeah, you don't have to have.
You don't have to have 2 spots taken
dedicated.
up.
Yeah. All right.
No.
I like that. I like it. I like it.
Trinkets are seeing changes. Purchasing, upgrading, or swapping between trinkets no longer costs you gold. Also, swapping between the warding line and the sweeping line puts your trinkets on a cooldown for 2 minutes. Scrying Orb has been removed. Farsight also removed since no scrying. Warding Totem line. So, the Warding Totem now can store up to 2 wards at any time. Starts with 1 ward for 60 seconds, then 60 to 120 seconds at levels 1 to 18. Generates a new charge every 180 to 120 seconds, depending upon your level. Also, you know, so it's all level based. Farsight alteration at level 9. You can alter your warding totem into Farsight totem. Once altered, Farsight totem instead places a visible 1 health ward far away, briefly revealing the surrounding area. That's where the old scrying is coming into effect. 40% of warding totems charge 61 to 48 seconds at level 9 to 18. Range is 4,000 units. The ward duration is infinite. Farsight totem ward doesn't count against your ward limit. That's actually kind of interesting. Sweeping lens line. This will sweep lens and it will spawn warning particles, and it particles over and finds where you can't see particles. Blah 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 blah. Range is 500 to 2,000 depending on your level. Cooldown is 90 to 60 depending on your level, and the size is 450 to 575 depending on what? Your level.
That's right.
Oracle alteration. At level 9, you can swap your sweeping lens into an oracle lens. Once altered, oracle lens instead constantly sweeps the area around your champion for 10 seconds. It no longer grants true sight, though. In addition to disabling ward, sweeping lens will spawn warning particles over units it finds that you can't see. champions, pink wards, etc., increasing by 50% for its size. But now it travels with you, so when you sweep, it just comes with you. You just run and it sweeps around you. Some of this. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Starting items and consumables. Doran's shield costs 10 more gold. Doran's blade costs 10 more gold and gives you 10 more health and give you 1 more attack damage. The Doran's ring is going to give you 50% mana regeneration instead of 3 per 5 seconds. It's less early, but
sexy.
it scales better. Then there is the Dark Seal. Just kidding, it's not like
Why
that.
didn't they redo the stupid splash art for Doran's items?
I don't know. They need to.
They look like Garbo.
They do look like Season 1. This now is 400 gold. It gives you 15 ability power, 100 mana, 25% bonus healing from potions. Do or die, it grants 2 glory per champion kill, or 1 per assist, up to 10 glory. Upon dying, you lose 4 stacks of glory. And then there's Dread, which grants 3 ability power per glory. Wow.
Yo, I like that.
Yeah, this is what builds into Magi's.
I don't like that.
This is your snowbally item.
Nope. That.
Then there's the Cull. So it's 450 gold. It gives you 5 attack damage and 3 life on hit. Killing large minions grants 1 additional gold. Killing 100 minions grants an additional 300 gold immediately and disables this passive. So you can get this early to get some extra chunk of gold if you're really good at farming or you're on a farm-heavy champion. And you don't get as much combat. You don't get the health. You don't get the attack damage as much. But this is really focusing on staying alive in lane and just farming. So this is to farm it out. And you get a big bonus for farming it out, but you lose some combat stats. So if you're Caitlyn and you're not worried about farming or fighting and you don't want a Doran's blade, you'll lose out on the health, you'll lose out on a little bit of damage. But if you can farm 100 minions quick because you're pushing waves and you're Caitlyn and you should be able to CS pretty well because nobody can really harass you with your range, then you can get 300 gold immediately once you're done with this item. So there is a trade-off. That makes sense?
Sure.
Kyle, you're crunching numbers in your brain over there. I'm not sure if you're making it or not.
No, I am. I'm just like plotting my escape from this game known as League of Legends right now.
Oh, are you now?
This is done. All right. No, I think that I like that item better than the new AP item, but like I guess it just to me it makes more sense. But they could have easily, because this doesn't upgrade into anything, does it? They could have easily just made an upgrade into Sword of the Eagle.
Yeah.
But no, they have to make AP better still.
Yep.
Those assholes.
Health potions now cost 50 gold. Limit to 1 type of healing potion.
50 gold
50.
for one?
50. But here's why. Do you want to know why? Kyle? Refillable potions cost 150 gold. Consume a charge to restore 100 health over 10 seconds. Holds up to 2 charges and refills upon visiting the shop. Limit to 1 type of healing potion. Can't have 16 types of these potions, guys. Then there's the Hunter's Potion. 400 gold, refillable, plus 250 is what you do to make it. Consumes a charge that restores 60 health and 35 mana over 8 seconds. Holds up to 5 charges, refills when you go back to the shop. Or killing a large monster grants 1 charge.
What would qualify as a large monster?
I don't know. A large monster in the jungle is my guess, not a minion in lane. This is good for a Mumu.
And yeah, okay.
Yeah. Corrupting Poison, refillable potion plus 350 gold, consumes a charge that restores 150 health and 50 mana over 12 seconds, and grants Touch of Corruption during that time. It holds up to 3 charges and will refill when you go back to the store. Now, while under Touch of Corruption, your single target spells and attacks burn every champion for 15 to 30 damage based on your level in magic damage over 3 seconds. So you get a little bit of extra damage while you are consuming your potion. That's actually kind of unique.
Yeah, I like that.
This actually teaches people to consume your potions while you're fighting, not after you're running away, realize you're ignited, and then you start to chug a potion, it's too late, you're already dead.
I can get behind that. I like that noise.
Yeah, thank you. Elixir of Ruin was removed. The Elixir of Iron now grants 300 health. It costs 500 gold. No longer reduces the effectiveness of souls by 25, but its size increases are slightly reduced. Elixir of Sorcery now costs 100 more gold, but grants 10 more ability power. The Elixir of Wrath costs 100 more gold and grants 5 more attack damage. 15% of all physical damage dealt instead of 10% of all physical damage dealt on Bloodlust heal. No longer kills and assists grant it for an extended duration.
Yeah, that needs to be changed.
That was kind of dumb. I agree.
All right. Booty changes. Poison.
Boots cost less. Boots of speed. Berserkers cost 100 more, but grant 5% more attack speed. Swiftness boots cost 200 less, but give you 5 more movement speed. Nobody buys them anyways. Ionian boots of lucidity cost 200 less gold. Give you 5% less cooldown reduction, but now additionally reduces the cooldown of summoner spells by 10%. Interesting. Mercury treads, 100 less gold, and 20% tenacity instead of 35. So actually, pretty big reduce on the tenacity front.
Oh yeah.
They want you to die. Ninja Tabby gives you 30 armor now, costs 100 more gold. They cost the same now as tread. Okay. Interesting.
For 5 armor? Alright, that's alright though.
Yeah.
Because now treads aren't nearly as good.
Yeah, treads aren't as good. Enchantments costs 25 less gold, although Distortion only gives you 15% spell cooldown reduction to 20. And Captain is now way cheaper. Holy God, Captain's way cheaper. Thank God. Captain costs way too much. I don't understand why they did that. Home card is also reduced like all the others. Items. Death's Dance. Vampiric Scepter Pickaxe. Warhammer. Gold. Attack damage. Cooldown reduction. Dealing physical damage now heals for 12% of the damage has dealt. 12% of the damage you take is instead turned into a bleed for 5 seconds. So this is a little risk-reward action.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that item.
Yeah, it's cool. I want to see how... I'm not sure how I'm going to utilize this one yet, but I think it's definitely neat.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it. Because it'll separate good players from bad players.
Yep. Hex Drinker costs less gold, grants less attack damage, grants actually more magic resist, and the shield is based on your level. I think some of this based on your level stuff is also rewarding good players and punishing bad players.
Yeah, but it's also nerfing the early game of Hex Drinker.
Yeah. Well, it's cheaper though. So.
And the amount of magic damage that you take at any given time early game is not as much. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
But it scales harder. So
yeah.
And it gives you more base magic resist. So Maw of Malmortius costs 50 more gold. Sated Dirk is what it builds from, and a Hex Drinker. Serrated. 5 less attack damage, 10 more magic resist, 10 armor penetration on it. That's kind of neat. Lifeline shield instead of 400 is 30 plus 1 per bonus magic resist. No longer grants bonus damage based on missing health. Instead, when Lifeline triggers, you gain 25% attack speed, 10% spell vamp, and 10% lifesteal until you leave combat. Ooh,
I like that.
That's neat too. Ooh,
That could be an item
it's
that you
very,
actually buy now.
It was very hard to use Come At Me effectively, although Maw wasn't a bad item because it was still good to have Hex Drinker.
Well, it's just
in there.
like really good on like Olaf.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't. Yeah, or like maybe on like a Garen who would
Or
get
Gnar,
low.
like in big form.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
I would never suggest buying.
Yeah.
Mod.
But now that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Frozen Mallet costs 200 less gold. It grants 50 less health, but gives you 10%. Not 10%. Sorry, just 10 more attack damage. Different build path.
It costs less and it does more damage, so I'm good. I'm good with that.
I'm gooch. Yeah. Ghost Blade. It can now crit better, or no longer can crit. Sorry. But it costs 500 more gold. It does 65 damage instead of 30, and it's been removed by the crit side, so no crit anymore. Different, obviously, build path. Dirk and a Warhammer. So
that's interesting.
Yep. Rage Blade. Blasting Wand Pickaxe, gold, grants attacks, 3%, scales up to 8 times. 5 seconds. While at 8 stacks, you gain Ginsu's Rage. Basic attacks deal bonus magic damage on hit equal to 20 plus 50% of bonus attack damage and 7.5 ability power to the target and nearby enemy units. Holy cow. You like actually rage now when you get full stacks. That's nuts.
That's nice.
That's a lot of damage.
Except the fact that I still don't like combo items.
Yeah, I know you don't, but they're unique
Like-
on a couple champions at least.
Like, the only reason that people buy Trinity Force is because of the Sheen proc. But, like, nobody buys Trinity Force.
Oh, no,
It's like, oh my god, I'm getting 25 AP. You know
Oh
what I'm
no,
saying?
I buy it. Well, they're changing that.
Foreshadowing.
Um,
So basically what you're telling me is the first time I play this, it's going to be a new game.
Yeah.
Alright, that's refreshing. Alright, let's do it.
Okay. All right. So Hextech Gunblade, unchanged cost. Hextech Revolver, no lifesteal, no magic resist. Now it heals 15% of all damage dealt. 33% effective for AOE. Active cooldown 30 seconds instead of 60. No longer reduces the active cooldown by 3 seconds per basic attack, though. So instead of lifesteal and spell vamp, you just have 15% all damage dealt coming back as a heal, which kind of even things out, honestly.
Could you imagine? So wait a second. What the shit? Where the hell is Vladimir gonna build?
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm on the wrong item. Okay, continue.
You all right?
Yeah,
You
I
okay?
got lost. I'm like reading past changes. Like,
You're like, wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what?
all right. I think I might build this on this champion. All right.
Tiamat is next. It's a lot cheaper, but it does 10 less attack damage, and it has 50 less health regeneration. No longer cleaves around your target, so it doesn't do that anymore. Ravenous Hydra costs 300 more gold. You can now freely exchange between Ravenous Hydra and Titanic Hydra. Actually, like that. Titanic Hydra, 3,600 gold because it's the same as Ravenous. It has a 450 health. That's going up from 400. You can now exchange.
I like
that. I
I
like
like
it.
how you can exchange them.
Yeah, because one gives you health. One of them doesn't. One gives you more damage.
Well, not only that,
and a
just
different
because, like
ability.
yeah, you might actually need something, and it's like just stupid to sell something like that and buy.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
So
Phage is 75 less gold, but gives you 5 less attack damage. The Black Cleaver now has 55 attack damage, not 40, and it has 100 less health, and it costs 500 more gold. I think those are actually all pretty
15
even
more attack
trades.
damage though. That's
Yeah, 15 more attack damage, pretty nice.
For
And a lot of the
300 gold?
champions building
Yeah,
it didn't
500
actually
gold?
care for the health.
500 gold.
500. But you're
You're
going to be
losing
getting more
out.
gold. Just fall further behind on your team, you'll get more gold. Oh, wait, what? That was not...
What the Okay. Continue.
Hey, you ready? Trinity Force.
Oh yeah.
Mana. Movement speed decreased. Crit chance increased. Attack speed decreased. Attack damage decreased. Ability power removed. Cooldown reduction 10%.
And it costs more gold.
And it costs more by a little bit.
Yo, fuck that item, to be honest.
Iceborne Gauntlet. Less gold. More armor. More cooldown reduction. No ability power.
Yo, I like that shit.
Size of slow zone now increases with bonus armor.
Oh my god, Malphite's gonna be a pain in the butt.
I know, right? Run. Like
see
as
that,
wide
you
as
see
the
that
lane.
picture for Iceborne Gauntlet? That is what he's gonna do. Just.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Alright, let's
Rip.
continue.
Manamune, 200 more gold. Wit's End, 250 more gold. For 10 more magic resist, 10% less attack speed, and on hit damage stuff 42, it's 40. They just kind of
So no one
rounded it
buys
out.
this item, so we're just gonna continue to nerf it.
Yeah, kind of. Sterk's Gauge is 150 more gold. Righteous Glory is 200 more gold. Banner of Command is 150 more gold. Ohm Wrecker is 50 more gold. Still exists. I'll tell Ohm that they put that about his item. And Portal is not an item. Don't buy it.
There's 50 less gold, and you get 25% less base health.
It's not an item. Don't buy it. Rejuvenation Bead costs less. Fairy Charm costs less. Forbidden Idol costs less. Sapphire Crystal costs less, but gives you more mana. And the Sheen, ready? The sheen costs less. It's sapphire crystal and gold. It gives you a little more mana, no ability power, and the cooldown reduction is now 10% is what you get from that.
Oh, I like what they're doing. All right, continue.
Tear of the Goddess costs a little bit more, just rounding it out. Longsword costs 10 less. Brawler's Gloves cost the same, but the crit chance is up by 2%. I saved it. Dagger costs way less, 150 gold less, but 12% attack speed instead of 15. Crystalline Bracer, 50 more gold. Actually, that was a really cheap item for really good stats, honestly. Raptor's Cloak, 100 more gold. Catalyst, health, 225 instead of 200. Chain Vest, 800 gold instead of 750. Negatron Cloak costs less, but gives you a little bit less magic resist. Jarum's Fist, 1200 gold, longsword plus a ruby crystal. It gives you 15 attack damage, 150 health. Killing a unit grants 5 maximum health, stacks up to 30 times.
Hang on a second, guys. 5 times 30. That's 150 bonus health.
That's 150 bonus health. Math is hard. That itself will now build into something later.
Right.
Here's the Dirk we were talking about. Serrated. Gold,
Dirk.
longsword, gold. 20 attack damage, 10 armor penetration. After killing any unit, your next basic attack or single target spell deals 15 bonus damage. So you can kill a minion and then harass.
That's freaking sweet.
Yes.
Oh my god, they're adding skill to the game. I love it. All right, continue.
Learn how to trade.
Serenade me.
Warhammer. Hadunkacha's Warhammer. That's not what it is. 1100 gold. Longsword, gold. 25 attack damage, 10% cooldown reduction. Vampiric Scepter's 100 more gold. It's a longsword still in gold. It's giving you 5 more attack damage and 2% more lifesteal. So that kind of makes up for the 100 more gold. Codex is 25 less gold, but gives you 5 less ability power. Kindle Gem is 50 less gold. And those are your item changes.
New masteries.
New masteries.
All
right.
You're just going to do a separate video on this, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go through the masteries and make a whole new masteries video in the next week or two. I'm going to be working on it, so give me a minute.
Be on the lookout for that. Make sure you subscribe.
I'm going to be hitting up some peeps, too, on that to get it to be pretty extensive, cohesive, and yeah, we'll make a couple different versions. I'll talk about those in a different video, but masteries will be completely reworked. So for now, make some mastery pages, look through it, see what you think will work well for your playstyle. Some of the choices you will have will impact things way more than they used to. But make sure that affects the way you play. Think of it that way. Don't think of, oh, is this best or does this fit me best? So
I know that there's one in there. Isn't there one that like makes you the cooldown reduction cap to like 30 or like 40 instead of 30 or some shit?
Cooldown
35?
reduction cap is 40.
No.
Currently, it's
Then
40%.
is it like 45?
It might be. It
Increases
might be
the
higher.
cooldown cap.
Yeah.
I don't know what it actually.
But yes, I will be making a video for this. I will also probably be updating rune pages because I think rune pages might actually change a little bit because of the way masteries will affect the game. So
Yep.
I'll do that afterwards, but I'll work on this one first, and I'll get a video out hopefully in a week or so.
So we can skip those.
We're
right?
going to skip these. There's a lot of changes to Ferocity and Double-Edged Sword and what they do, but like I said, I'll go over these and we'll talk about that in the video.
Okay.
Because there's a lot.
Okay. All right, so we got Victoria's Silver. Am I right? Who's
We do
getting their
have-
Victoria's Silver this season?
If you're getting Victorious Silver, say I in the chat.
I.
We'll have to give it a second. I'll take a second for all that to come through.
Alright.
But yeah, I think she looks neat. I actually really like her. Her thing looks scary huge.
Her
boomerang.
splash art looks phenomenal. I love the splash art, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's neat.
But
like it.
I haven't seen it in game yet. Like I said, I haven't played the PvE.
Her big thing is enormous and crazy. I like it.
Yeah.
And then server-side game changes. Now, if you actually have a Mac, you will actually load faster. I know that one's in here somewhere.
Yeah, that's the next one. I like how they they put it in the last one, but they didn't actually put it in.
Mac load times 33% faster
Oh,
for
yeah,
realsies.
nice.
Talon's
Oh
Drake
my
will
God.
now return him to hand dies, sensor stasis, rake, flight. Fixed a bug.
Wait, we already went over the key bindings. Will now transfer computers.
What?
You went server-side game settings, and then you went straight to the Mac. You skipped the.
Oh yeah, all key bindings now saved server side. So now your stuff carries, which is really nice.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
all these people are making fun of me for being slow, but I'm just processing all this information. You guys shut the
Get wrecked, Kyle. Get wrecked.
I think that's it.
You can no longer double cast Flame Breath, fix an issue with Force of Will, and Help Picks attached to an ally when instantly give insane attack speed. So some other bug fixes they didn't mention in the other bug fix section. I don't know why they do that. It's really weird when they don't do that. But yeah, that is in theory the preseason patch notes. It only took us what, 2 hours?
Throughout, yeah, 2:15.
2:15ish. I will be making a Masteries video, like I said. That's pretty normal. If you guys could leave this video a like, much appreciated. I will probably be streaming tonight on this channel.
But I believe that it would be Fallout.
But I'm going to be playing Fallout. So, from the beginning, although I've played Fallout. So, well, let's play Fallout. I mean, I've been playing Fallout for the last week. But
Yeah,
for
I'm
work.
gonna go after the. I have to go after the StarCraft first, and then I'll be on
Nice.
Fallout. Just because it's shorter.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
I want to get through the campaign, and then I'll go back.
So yeah, if you guys want to hang out in a little bit, I'll be streaming. I'm gonna take a short break, use the restroom, maybe grab some more food.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the deal. But if everybody stick around, we love you more. Thank you. Like we said, if you leave a like, that'd be nifty, swifty.
And like we said, that was 12 billion years long. So all 245 of you, thank you for sticking around.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, that's all gonna happen. Y'all have a lovely evening. Hopefully, I'll see you guys soon in the Fallout stream, and I'll talk to you later. Right, Kat?
Au revoir.
Goodbye, bye.